In this video, I'm reviewing over 28 cases for the brand new Galaxy Z Fold 8 Ultra. Whether you're looking for maximum protection, the slimmest possible design, or a case that just feels great in the hand, there's something here for you. The problem is that a lot of these cases look fantastic online, but they tell a completely different story once you actually put them on your phone. Some don't fit right, some are difficult to install or remove, some have weak MagSafe magnets, and some just don't feel worth the price. So throughout this video, I'll show you the strengths and the weaknesses of each one so you can decide which case is the right fit for you. Then at the end, I'll share my personal favorites in several different categories so you can skip all the guesswork. So let's get started. Now the very first case we're going to take a look at is the TORRAS Guardian Mag case. This is one of my more favorite cases that TORRAS makes. We have a back cover and we also do have a front cover here. There's also no stickers on this case, which is definitely a plus. We also do get two tempered glass screen protectors to protect the front glass of your phone, which is definitely a nice addition as well. Now, why do I like this case so much? Well, for one, it's nice and slim. It's going to keep your phone protected without adding a lot of bulk. This is 4 times military grade drop tested, and it's also supposed to absorb 98% of the shock that happens when your phone actually hits the ground. We've got a MagSafe ring in the middle here, and we also do have a hinge protector as well. So let's put this on our phone. So first we're going to put on the front cover here. It just kind of slips and clips into place over the top of your phone, just like that. And then we'll put on the back cover. Again, just kind of presses into place. Now, the one thing I am noticing, which is kind of interesting, I'm not sure if they meant to do this or not, but the case looks like it's 2 slightly different shades of violet. We've got kind of like a bluish violet here, and then a little more of a violet cover on the back. Again, I'm not sure if they meant to do that or if that's the way the case is supposed to be. I'm not really too sure. Now, this also does come in a couple different other colors, black and clear. I happen to kind of like the violet to go along with the color of the phone. Kind of lets the color of the phone show through the back as well without showing all those fingerprints because it's got that nice soft feel. I absolutely love it. Feels really good in the hand. It's not slippery. It's got a little bit of a grip to it. And you can also see how slim it still keeps your phone. We do have a slight raised edge around the front of the phone without the tempered glass screen protector on it. You can easily access the side buttons here, your volume buttons. Got a nice cutout so you don't have to worry about any buttons kind of covering those as well. Easily access that power button from the side. We've got our cutouts on the top and on the bottom here. Again, we've got this nice spring-loaded hinge that seems to work pretty well. Now, as far as opening and closing the phone, seems to open pretty easily. We'll open and close it a couple times just to see if the case actually moves. Again, there's no stickers on this case. It's just kind of held in place with these little I think proprietary locks that TORRAS makes. But again, it doesn't seem to be moving on the phone whatsoever. This little gap is here. It's that's not like it's sliding off. That gap is supposed to be there. But everything seems to be perfectly aligned still. Closing it up and you can see that the case has not moved at all. That is nice. We also do have a slight raised edge on the back for our camera protection too. That is a really nice case. For being the very first case, I can probably tell you that this is going to be one of my personal favorites in the end of the video, but let's continue. So I want to put the tempered glass screen protector on here just so you guys can see what that looks like and how much of a raised edge we still have around the edge with the tempered glass screen protector on. So I'm going to install this really quick. Again, you want to thoroughly clean off the screen with the alcohol wipe before we install the tempered glass. So we're going to use the case as the guide for the tempered glass. So make sure that the sticker is on the underside of the glass and the camera cutout is going towards the camera on your phone. Let's kind of put this into place here. And then kind of press down in the middle and it should adhere to the front of the screen. Seems to go on there pretty good. And there you go. We are all set. There's no bubbles, no lifting. Seems to fit pretty good. We got a cutout for the camera. There is also no anti-glare for this tempered glass screen protector, just so you guys are aware. As far as fingerprints, seems to do a pretty good job at keeping down fingerprints. I really barely see any smudges on the screen. So that's definitely a plus. There is a slight gap on the bottom of the case, as you can see there, but none at the top because I kind of pushed it all the way up just to kind of make sure I got it aligned. So there is some give as far as case compatibility. So this should actually work with other cases as well. You can also see that the screen is nice and clear, and touch is working perfectly fine. Also, there's absolutely no issues with any touch whatsoever. Kind of easily access the top here, bring down your notifications, and you can also swipe up from the bottom too. And if we take a look at that front edge again, you guys can see how much of a raised edge we get now with the tempered glass screen protector on the front of the phone. And then we'll take a look at the screen as if we're looking at it through polarized sunglasses. So you can see that there is a slight tinge, not bad at all, not a lot of rainbow effect. So that's definitely a plus. So if you're going to be using polarized sunglasses while you're looking at your phone with the screen protector on it, you should have a pretty good experience. And as far as the edges kind of bending, they don't seem to really bend at all. We have a little bit on the hinge side, not a lot though, because we do have that hinge to kind of keep the edge in place. So far, I'm really liking this case. Again, it looks really good on the phone, makes it much easier to kind of open and close your phone as well. Add some pretty good protection without adding a lot of bulk. The hinge protector seems to work really good on the side here, just kind of springs right back. You can see that the case also is not moving without the use of the stickers, which I absolutely love. We got our camera protection, our MagSafe ring, which we needed to test out right now, and we also do get the tempered glass screen protector for the front. So I've got my MagSafe charger right here, clip it onto the back, charges your phone immediately, and it also seems to have a pretty good strong hold on the back as well, which is definitely a plus. You can also kind of rotate the phone almost 360 degrees. The camera bump is hitting the little charger on the back here, but what's really nice is you can kind of set your phone up like this, and you can also have the MagSafe charging on the back, which is awesome. And then also, if you don't want to use the MagSafe and you want a little kickstand or something like that, you can also get one of these rings from TORRAS, clips onto the back. So you have your little kind of like a holder for your finger, and you also do have kind of look like a little kickstand ring. So you can have your phone standing up or laying down in landscape. Again, that's if you don't want it in the portrait mode, you can have it open like that and it still kind of stands up on the ring, which is pretty cool. Nice little accessory, and it also stays on there pretty good, so you don't have to worry about it just kind of falling off your phone. And if by some chance you guys need to take this case off the phone, it doesn't come off super easy, but it comes off without a lot of effort. You can kind of like take the back off there and then unclip the front part as well, and then it comes off your phone. So it's clipped onto your phone. It's not like it's just going to fall off, but once you undo the little clips, the pieces come off pretty easy. Then we'll check out the weight of the case. 47.9 grams. So this is definitely going to be one of my personal favorites, and I'm sure it's going to be yours if you guys decide to pick one up as well. The next case we're going to take a look at is the TORRAS Q3 Vegskin case. This is a fairly new case in their lineup. Another really nice case that looks and feels very premium. It's got a metal ring around the camera on the back here, along with a metal kickstand MagSafe ring. It's got an organic silicone type leather on it that does clean up pretty good, and I'll show you that in just a second. This is also military grade, drop tested up to 4 times, and it also uses N56 hallback magnets on the back for a 2 times stronger grip. So we get our back case here. We also have a nice soft suede inside, which I really like, and we also get the front of the case too. And in addition to that, we get 2 tempered glass screen protectors to protect the front of the phone, which is a nice addition. So again, like I said before, this is a really nice case. It offers some pretty good protection without adding a lot of bulk either. And it's got a really nice kind of like a soft, smooth touch on the hinge here, along with the silicone type leather. And I do have the tempered glass screen protector still on the phone from the magnetic slim case. So I'm just going to kind of use that along with this other case here. And to put this on, again, it just simply clips into place. There's absolutely no stickers, which I absolutely love. It just kind of clips right onto the front of your phone. And then we just press on the back here. Press that into place. And it looks so nice. You can see how it still keeps your phone pretty slim. Feels really good in the hand. It's not grippy and it's not slippery. It's just got a kind of like that smooth, soft silicone type feel. The buttons are easily accessible from the side here. You can see the fingerprint sensor is still working. You can also still easily access those volume buttons as well. Nice and clicky. We've got our cutouts on the top here and on the bottom. A really nice hinge cover on the side here that does have a really nice kind of clip back. So you don't have to worry about that ever not covering your hinge. As far as opening and closing the case, makes the case the phone much easier to open and close. And it also doesn't look like the case is moving at all. So if we take a look at the edge here, you can see that it's very nicely staying against the phone and not moving. And that's saying something because it's not using any stickers. I'm glad they finally figured that out, because stickers are kind of annoying. When you have to, take the case off the phone, the stickers sometimes come off, and then you have to worry about putting more stickers back on, and it's just kind of annoying. So now if you change your phone case a lot, you don't have to worry about those stickers. On the back, again, we've got this metal ring that comes up a little bit over our camera bumps on the backs for protection there too. We also, again, do have this really nice metal kickstand ring that rotates 360 degrees. It's got a very nice, satisfying kind of click to it, which is awesome. So you can have your phone stand up in a landscape or a portrait mode as well. That also does work even if the phone is open. So you can kind of lay it down like that, or you can also kind of rotate it the other side, and you can look at your screen this way too, or stand it up either way, or just have it kind of closed and use the front of the screen as well, which really nice. Really like the 360 spin, and then it just kind of folds right back into the back of the case, nice and flush, so there's nothing sticking out. And if we take a look at the front, you can see how much of a raised edge we get around the front of the phone, and this is with the tempered glass screen protector on the phone too. Now, as far as the cleanup, like I mentioned, the silicone leather cleans up really well. And let me show you what I mean. So if you happen to have kids, or your hands are kind of greasy, you just got done eating, something like that, we've got a couple different things here that you might run across while you're using your phone. So we've got some ketchup, we've got some olive oil, and we also do have some mustard here. So I'm going to start off with the olive oil. Just kind of put some of this on the back of the phone there. Nice and greasy. Then we'll go on to the ketchup. Put some ketchup up here. See if the ketchup and mustard stain the case at all. Wipe off my finger really quick, and then we'll move on to some mustard. Put some mustard right in the middle here. Yeah, nice and big. There we go. Put a little up here too. So now we need to wipe it off. The mustard is kind of staining my finger. Let's see if it actually stained the back of the case here. So first I'm going to wipe off the olive oil on the bottom here. Again, I don't have any water or anything. Just going to simply wipe this away. And you can see how nicely that just wiped right off the case. So now let's see what happens with the mustard here. Kind of wipe that off again. You can see that it's not staining the case, and it just simply wipes right off. Look at that. Again, no, there's no soap or water or anything on the napkin here. I'm just kind of wiping that away. And it comes off pretty easily. And there you go. No trickery, just simply wiped it right off the case. Worked really well. And of course, if you were around some soap or something like that, you might want to kind of wipe it off because I'm sure it's leaving a smell of ketchup and mustard and whatever. But as you can see, it wipes right off the silicone type leather. Very nice. And then let's check out the MagSafe hold on the back of the case here. So here I've got my MagSafe magnet. It's a Qi 2 wireless charger. Clips onto the back, charges your phone immediately, and it also does seem to have a pretty good hold on the back. The only thing with this is if you try to pull the magnet away from the phone, it kind of pulls the hinge away as well because the magnet is so strong. But again, as you can see, if you just have it on your MagSafe charger, it's charging your phone without any issues. And again, it's on there pretty good, so you don't have to worry about the case just kind of falling off the MagSafe charger. Another really nice thing about this kickstand is the hinge. It's not super flimsy, and you can see that it easily holds the weight of the phone, and it's not just flopping all around either. And then I'll remove the glass just so you guys can see how much of a raised edge you get without the tempered glass. So you can see it adds a little bit of more of a raised edge, but not much because the glass is already pretty thin. And as far as the edges of the case, they seem pretty solid. The only one that has a little bit of give is the one near the hinge here, but the hinge pretty much keeps it in place where it needs to be. You really don't have to worry about this piece, you know, coming off because of that hinge. And even when we open up the phone, you can see that the hinge does cover the edge of the front of the case, so you don't have to worry about that either. The case is on there pretty good. And then let's see how much this case weighs. 59.1 grams. And I also have the black cover here as well. If you don't like the one that kind of looks like the brown leather, you have the black option, which does look really sleek. And we also do have the kind of suede inside as well to help keep your phone scratch free. I think that looks really nice as well. I kind of think I would probably prefer the brown leather, but that's just me because I like the contrasting color. Again, another really nice case from TORRAS. Again, I think you guys are going to really like this case if you happen to pick it up yourself. The next case we have is the SPIGEN Slim Armor Pro case. So here is the case. It does have MagSafe built in, even though you can't see it on the back. It does have like a soft kind of silicone type feel to it. This also does have the hinge is like it's connected to the back part here, so it's not going to come off, and it's got a ton of stickers all the way around to try to help keep it in place. I really wish companies would not put stickers or find some way to not like TORRAS did. I really hate these stickers, but let's take them off. That's great. Trying to take the stickers off, they just kind of rip. That's awesome. So again, the majority of these stickers, when I tried to take them off, they just ripped. I just can't. I can't believe that they just don't come off easily. It's something so easy that they can do, but obviously they can't do that right. So let's put our phone inside the case here. Push this into place. And then put the front cover on here. All right, so the case is on the phone and it feels pretty good in the hand. The hinge cover here, again, has that same soft silicone type feel, but it also has like texture on it to help with grip, which is definitely a plus because the other side of the case is just like a smooth kind of rubbery type feel. It does not have any grip. I wish they would have put this texture all the way around the case. That would have been really nice, but they didn't. If we take a look at the case from the side, you can see how much extra bulk it adds to the phone here. And you can also see how much of a raised edge we get on the front of our phone. Got a cutouts on the side here so you can very easily access those buttons. And we've got our cutouts on the bottom. Again, you really don't have to worry about the front part of the case moving because it is attached with this little piece right here to the back. So really, when you open up the phone, it should not move. As far as opening and closing the phone, not too bad. It does make it a little bit easier. And as you can see, it doesn't look like the case has moved at all. The hinge covers on there are pretty good. Doesn't look like it's misaligned, which is nice. And yeah, the hinge doesn't move either. It only moves when you open up the case. So you don't have to worry about that kind of flopping all around. It just kind of slides. So that will not come up. And I think that's a good thing. It's on the back here. Again, it's just all that smooth kind of silicone type feel, which does help to keep down the fingerprints. We do have a slight raised edge around our camera bumps. And again, this does have MagSafe. Let's test out our MagSafe back. Seems like it's got a nice strong hold. Charge your phone immediately. Wow. Holy cow. That's the strongest MagSafe hold that I have felt on one of these cases yet. It is on there. Like, you see me shaking this thing all over the place. It is not coming off. So as far as MagSafe hold, this probably is number one. I can't believe that. Let's test out our power bank. Another strong hold. Charges your phone immediately, and it fits. Yeah, so that's definitely a big plus. I like the nice strong MagSafe hold. That's crazy. So, I mean, really, other than the stickers just ripping off when you try to take them off, everything else about this case seems pretty nice. Let's see how easy it is to kind of swipe from the top because of that larger bump. Not too bad there. Other side, yeah, pretty easily. Swipe up from the bottom, no issues. So this case does seem like it gives your phone some pretty good protection without adding a lot of extra bulk. Feels good in the hand. MagSafe, second to none, at least so far. That's the strongest MagSafe hold that I felt on a case in a very, very long time. And again, I also don't think that you have to worry about the case pieces moving because they are held together by this hinge. So this definitely does seem like a good case and I would recommend it. And then as far as trying to take the case off, let's see how hard that is. Definitely not easy coming off, but it can be done fairly easily, if that makes sense. You do have to put a little bit of effort to get it off, but it does come off fairly easily. And then let's see how much this weighs. 56.1 grams. The next case we have here is the SPIGEN Tough Armor Pro. And here is the case itself. Again, another case that uses a whole bunch of stickers to try to hold it in place. This also does have MagSafe built in, and it also has the two pieces held together with a little hinge in the center here. So again, let's take off our stickers. All right, so now that we got all our stickers off, one of the stickers actually took off one of the sticky portions. So let's keep going. Clip this onto the back of our phone here. And then the front, honestly, the way that it just came apart. It just kind of fell apart. That's great. So we can probably put this back fairly easily. Oh, man. Okay. So let's try this again, see if we can get this on without it breaking. And we can't. I just... Okay, so let's just put this on the front of the phone, clip it into place, and then I'll push that back in. so we can actually get on with this review, and it doesn't seem like we can. Okay, I got one end. Does anybody check these cases to see if they actually work before they send them out to everybody? Okay. I got it back into place. Okay, so as far as it feeling in the hand, not that great. It feels like smooth plastic, especially along the hinge here, because that's all it is. It's just a smooth plastic hinge, not like the Slim Armor Pro. And it's not grippy. It's just, again, it's smooth, like a smooth plastic type feel all the way around the case. You can see that it does add a little bit of extra bulk to the phone, not a lot. Cutouts on the bottom, and we also do have a slight raised edge all the way around the front of the phone. On the back here, again, it's got like that smooth kind of matte feel, so it keeps down fingerprints, and we have a slight raised edge around our camera lenses. Cutouts on the side, so you can very easily press in those power buttons and the volume buttons. And as far as opening and closing a case, definitely does make it easier to do because it does have a case on it. Makes it a little bit thicker. And as far as the case moving, it doesn't look like it's moving at all. It looks pretty even. So that's a plus. And then let's take a look at the hinge when we open it up. It pretty much stays in place. So you don't have to worry about this hinge coming up because it's stuck in place with the two pieces of the case itself. So let's test out our MagSafe. Again, super strong hold, just like the Slim Armor Pro. Your phone, I mean, it's on the MagSafe accessory. I don't think it's coming off. It's on there really good. And then as far as the power bank, again, same thing. Nice strong hold, and it's on there pretty flush. So that's definitely a plus. So again, a couple things I don't like about the case. One is the stickers, which you might not even need because this hinge keeps these pieces from really moving around. So I don't think you're going to have to worry too much about the stickers. But the biggest thing was the front part coming off when you try to put it on your phone. That was the biggest pain in the butt ever. Like, you should not have to deal with that. But it does have a nice strong MagSafe hold. And I really don't like it. Doesn't feel good in the hand because it just feels like smooth plastic. If you're gonna go get a case like this, I would recommend just going with the Slim Armor Pro and not mess with the Tough Armor. If I had to buy this again, I would not get this one, and I'd just tell you to stay away from it. Again, go with the Slim Armor Pro. Let's see how hard it is to get off the phone. So it's not going to just come right off your phone. You have to put a little bit of effort into it. And then it just comes, the case comes apart. That's great. There's the hinge, and there's the front part of the case. So if you want to deal with a 3-part case, go with the Tough Armor. Let's see how much it weighs. 47.6 grams. I am pretty disappointed with this case, I'm not going to lie. Our next case is the SPIGEN Slim Armor Pro S. So this case looks pretty much just like the Slim Armor Pro, but this one has a metal kickstand ring on the back that rotates 360 degrees. And then it kind of folds almost back into the case, just leaves a little bump on the back. Other than that, everything else seems to be exactly the same. Same hinge, same stickers on the inside. So let's take off our stickers again. And that one already ripped. That one ripped, 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 that one ripped. I'm done. All right, I'm just not going to take off any more stickers. Let's put this on our phone. Clip this into place. Should not have to deal with that kind of stuff. It's just so dumb. Okay. Again, feels nice in the hand, just like the Slim Armor did. It's got the nice texturing on the side, along with that kind of like that rubbery type feel. It's got a nice, good raised edge around the front of the phone. You can also see that it does add a little bit of extra bulk to the phone too. Got our cutouts on the bottom. On the back, again, it's got the nice, soft, smooth feel, so it keeps down the fingerprints. We got our MagSafe ring and the same slight raised edge around our camera lenses. Again, you can use this to hold your phone up in a portrait or lay it down in a landscape mode, and it also works with the phone being open too. You kind of stand it up that way or lay it down a little bit, and you can also rotate it so it'll stand up like this, and you have a little bit of adjustment so it'll kind of angle towards your face. And it folds right back into the case. Let's open and close this. Does make it easier to open and close the phone. And it does look like, well, there's a slight misalignment for the one, I think the one hole here. Maybe not. Maybe it's just something inside covering the hole. It just looked like it was misaligned, but I think it might be one of the stickers kind of covering the hole in there. But other than that, the case didn't seem like it moved at all, even when I didn't remove the stickers, because they pretty much all ripped. It looks like it's staying in place. I don't even know why they bothered putting those stickers. Let's test out our MagSafe on the back here. Clips onto the back, charges your phone immediately. And again, the hinge does make it flimsy. You can see when you try to pull away the MagSafe. And the magnet's definitely not as strong as the Slim Armor Pro, but I think it's, I don't know, it's tough because it's got an adequate hold on the MagSafe ring, but because of the hinge, it kind of flops around. I don't know, I'm kind of on the fence. Not really a huge fan of this ring here because it seems kind of flimsy. So that's something you have to deal with. Let's check out our MagSafe power bank. And again, this is kind of the same way. It kind of rocks back and forth because of that hinge. I mean, it is charging the phone. It's just kind of flimsy. I don't know. But for me, I would probably get some sort of a ring, maybe like this, to use with the regular Slim Armor Pro, because you can still put that on. You can have your MagSafe, and you don't have to worry about, you know, the hinge on here being kind of flimsy like this is. I just don't like how that flops back and forth. But other than that, not a bad case. Again, if I were to go with a case from SPIGEN so far, I would tell you to go just get the regular Slim Armor Pro. This being flimsy back here, it's definitely a no-go for me, and I'm definitely not going to recommend it to you. Let's see how easy it is to take off our case here. Not too bad. It's on the phone pretty good. It's not too hard to take off. So that comes off fairly easily with a little bit of effort from you. Let's see how much this weighs. 58 grams. Our next case is the SPIGEN Core Armor case. So here is the case. This does not have a hinge cover, and it's got a two-piece design with a whole bunch of stickers again on the case. I think that's something that SPIGEN loves to use, is these stickers. This does have a really cool texturing on the back, and it also does have MagSafe built in. So let's take off our stickers again. At least those stickers didn't rip. Let's put our phone inside the case here. Clips into place. Put the front of our phone on. That clips into place too. Okay. So one thing that I noticed right off the bat is the top cover of the phone is like it's made of, seems like a plastic material, and the back has like a rubbery texture. You can see the difference on the phone between the front and the back cover. They're like two different textures and or plastics. It does look like they have a slight reinforcement in the corners here to help with drop protection. If we look at the front, you can see that there's a slight raised edge around the front of the phone, and this also keeps your phone fairly slim. It does feel pretty nice in the hand. Again, there's no grip on the side. It's just all smooth metal. On the other side, it's got a slight bit of grip. On the other side, we have a large cutout here for your power button and volume buttons. On the bottom, we've got our cutouts. On the back, again, it's got this really cool kind of rubbery type texture. Looks really cool. We've got the carbon fiber looking sides right there. Not real carbon fiber, just kind of looks like it. And then we have a, again, slight raised edge around our camera lenses. I really do like the texturing on the back. It's like a matte, and it does seem to keep down fingerprints as well, so that's definitely a plus. Let's try to open and close our phone. Definitely easier to open and close the phone with this case. Because of the back part has that like a slight texture to it. I'm not sure why they opted to not put that on the front. I think it's kind of like a missed opportunity, but it does seem to make the phone easier to open. See if it moved, and it looks like it's pretty flush. So it doesn't seem like the phone case moved at all. So that's definitely a plus. Let's check out our MagSafe. So charges the phone immediately, and as far as the hold, I think it's got a pretty decent hold on the back. Definitely not like the Slim Armor Pro, but it's definitely adequate enough to hold your phone on the charger. And then as far as the power bank goes, again, works perfectly fine. Again, just like all the other SPIGEN cases. So not a bad case. I really like the back part. Again, I don't know why they didn't use the same material for the front. Just kind of doesn't make any sense. I would like to have a hinge cover on here, but for a simple, a very simple case that keeps your phone pretty slim and adds a little bit of extra protection here, not a bad case. Let's see how hard it is to take off. Not too bad. I don't think it's going to just come off your phone without you wanting it to. Even the front cover, because of those stickers, it seems to be stuck on there pretty good. Let's see how much it weighs. 48.1 grams. And then here we have the SPIGEN Air Fit Pro case. Here is the case itself. It does have a hinge cover on the side. It is made of like a hard plastic, and it feels like it too. On the inside, we do have some stickers that it uses to help keep it in place. This also does have MagSafe, and the front cover also uses a bunch of stickers all the way around the case itself too. So let's take off all of our stickers. All right, so we'll put our phone inside the case here. Just kind of clips into place. Put the front cover on as well. I'll push down on those stickers. And there we go. So you can see how thin it keeps the phone. Pretty slim. If we look at the front here, you can see how much of a raised edge we get around the front of the phone. As far as it feel in the hand, it feels like plastic. It's just like smooth plastic. There's no grip. It's not slippery. But again, it just feels like you're holding plastic. On the side here, you can very easily access those buttons. So that's pretty nice. The hinge doesn't really have a spring. You can see that it just kind of stays open if you open it, which definitely isn't good. If we take a look at the bottom here, you can see we have our cutouts on the back. Again, it's just like a hard plastic. There's no real texture to it. And there's the slightest raised edge for our camera bumps here. Not much there either. So let's open and close this. So because it is a smooth, hard plastic, it's not the easiest to open. Definitely does make it a lot harder to open the phone. That's something that I don't like. And I'm sure, I can't imagine that anybody else would. Let's see if the case has moved any. And it doesn't look like the case has moved, but the hinge cover is just, it's off. You can see that. You can see it's not lined up perfectly with the case. You can see it a lot more on that side. See, it's just, it seems like it's got like a little bit of a magnet in it. Because at that last moment, it kind of clips down by itself. So there's probably definitely some sort of magnet in here, but it's just, you can see how it just kind of flop, like it doesn't close back very nicely like some of the other hinges do that have like a spring in it. I'm not too happy about that, but let's keep moving on. It does have MagSafe on the back, so let's check that out. MagSafe clips onto the back, charges your phone immediately. And as far as the hold, I'd say it's got an okay hold on the back. It's definitely not the best, but it'll hold your phone on your MagSafe accessory. Let's test out our power bank. And it does look like it just makes it. You can see that it is flush, but it's just like right there, almost about to hit the camera bump. So if you're going to be using a power bank, it might fit, it might not. It really all depends on which one you're using. So I'm not a huge fan of this case. I don't like the way that it feels in the hand. And again, it just feels very plasticky. The hinge cover, really not that great at all. And it's definitely a lot harder to open up your phone, especially if you're kind of grabbing it down by the bottom here. If you open it from here, it's a little easier, but it's still, there's no grip here. It's just smooth plastic. Like, why wouldn't you put some sort of grip to make it a little easier to open and close your phone? So if it were me, I would not buy this case again, and I would definitely not recommend that you guys buy it either. Now, as far as taking this off, not the hardest. You can feel all the stickers kind of giving away from the phone, and the front cover comes off just about as easily as well. Let's see how much this case weighs. 36.2 grams. And here we have another case by SPIGEN. This is the C11 Magnet case, Traverse. So here is the case. It's a two-piece design, and it does come with some extra stickers as well. It's got a front piece and a back, and again, these stickers on the inside will remove. These stickers are like the bane of my existence. So we'll clip this over the top of our phone. Push down where the stickers were. Stickers, the covers stick to your skin because of the static. We'll put this in the back of the case here. The case does have MagSafe as well. And there we go. So as far as it feeling in the hand, there's no hinge cover, so it's kind of slick on the side here, but on the other side, it's a little grippy. So that definitely helps hold on to the phone. If we take a look at the case from the side, you can see how much of a raised edge we get around the front of the screen. It also doesn't add a lot of extra bulk to the phone. Got our cutouts on the bottom. On the back here, it's got this pretty interesting, like these stickers. They're not stickers, but they're on the case. And then there's like a MagSafe ring underneath that. And then there's another layer. So it's got depth, which is kind of cool. And there's only a slight raised edge around our camera lenses, but at least that's more than some of the Samsung cases. So let's test out our MagSafe. Clips onto the back, charges your phone immediately. And as far as the hold, it's got a pretty good hold on the back of the case, so that's definitely a plus. And then let's test out our MagSafe power bank. Clips onto the back, and it just looks like it makes the connection, but it is kind of bumped up right next to the camera lens, but it does work. Let's try opening and closing the phone. It's definitely easier to open the phone because of that grip. Let's see if the case is moved. It doesn't look like it. It's pretty much flush with the phone. can see it has not moved there either. So that's definitely good. So really not a lot of bad things to say about this case. It's just something very simple. I would like to see a hinge protector on the side. That's just me. The MagSafe ring on the back does have a pretty good hold. There's a slight raised edge to protect your cameras here. So at least if you put your phone down on something, it's not going to touch anything. There is still a wobble, just like pretty much every other case. It looks kind of cool. There is a little bit of grip on the side here to help with opening and closing the phone. So yeah, not too bad. Again, it's just a very simple protective case. If it were me, this case probably isn't going to be for me, but I don't think it's a bad option. I just would not buy this again. And then let's see how easy it is to take off your phone. Minimal effort there to get that off, and then to take off the front. It's a little bit harder, just a little bit because of the stickers, but you can get it off with minimal effort. I'm just not a huge fan of all the the woodsy look. The next case we have is the BENKS ArmorGrid Combo. So this comes with the case, front and back, along with the Glass Warrior tempered glass screen protector for the front. And this case is their ArmorGrid in blue with their Pro coverage. So this is more of a full coverage case versus the Armor Air, which I'll show you next. So inside the box, again, we get the Glass Warrior tempered glass screen protector. Let me see how many we get. So it looks like we get one tempered glass screen protector with the installation guide. And then here is the back part of the case. Comes with a sticker here in case you need it. And this case is made of Kevlar, which is really nice. Got a really cool texture. We do have a hinge cover as well. And then we also get the front cover of the case. That's it for the box. And the front cover already looks super thin. We also get a couple extra stickers just in case you need those. And here's the front cover again. Really thin. But there aren't any stickers already put on here just in case you don't want to use those stickers. So again, here is the case. Let's put or take off our sticker. We also do have MagSafe built in, and the Kevlar is through and through. It's not just a Kevlar cover. It's actually a solid Kevlar piece, which feels very solid. You can see it's pretty rigid as well. This does have a nice texture on the back, keeps down fingerprints as well as scratches. Okay, so we'll put our phone inside the back here. And I just want to show you how much of a raised edge we get around the front of the screen before we put the tempered glass screen protector on. So everything just kind of clips into place. Looks like everything's lined up pretty good. Feels really nice. Got a kind of like a smooth rubbery type feel. It's just got a very slight texture on the side, which is nice, but it does feel good in the hand. It's not grippy. It's got, again, kind of like a smooth rubbery type feel, but it's not slippery. So feels good in the hand. We have a large cutout here for our power buttons, which are easily pressable and accessible. Very nice. There's a look at the top there. You can see that it doesn't add a lot of extra bulk to the phone either. We've got our cutouts on the bottom. Again, this, I don't know if it's my eyes, but it looks like the back cover is a little bit more purple than the top. The top kind of looks a little bit more bluish than the bottom. Is it just me, or do you guys see it too? It might just be me. And if we take a look at the side here, you can see how much of a raised edge we get without the tempered glass screen protector on there. And as far as the hinge, it's got a nice spring. Springs right back into place. Very nice. I do really like that. And let's open up the phone. It looks like the case is kind of coming off here. So maybe you're gonna need to use those stickers. Yeah, you can see it's already kind of coming off the edge here. Whereas the top is flush and at the bottom it seems to be coming apart. So you might have to end up using those stickers, which I'm not a huge fan of, but it is what it is. So yeah, you can see that the front cover is actually starting to come off after opening and closing so many times. It seems like the hinge kind of pushes this little edge here when you open it up, and it pushes off the cover. So it does look like you're going to want to put those stickers on that front cover. So I think I'm going to put the stickers on just so we can kind of get an idea of what that would look like, or if it would kind of stay into place if we did use the stickers. I need to take off this other piece first. You need to take, because this is kind of, we'll just see if we can open this up. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to try to put these stickers on. This is going to be a pain in the butt here. I mean, to try to get these stickers lined up perfectly is not going to be fun. Okay, so I ended up getting it the best I could down inside the case here. Now let's peel off the sticker. And it pulled off the whole thing. I'm done. I got one sticker on the edge here. Let's see if that's going to be enough. I'm going to kind of just wipe off my edge here. It shouldn't be this difficult to put a case on your phone. So put this back into place here. And then we'll kind of just push down on that edge to get that sticker to kind of stay down. Okay, so let's open and close the phone again. Now, granted, you're not going to be opening and closing your phone most likely like this, but there was a chance of just opening at one time and the front part of the case moving. So it seems like putting that sticker on there does keep the phone case more in place. It doesn't seem to be moving now. I had to clip it into place just a little bit before, but it doesn't seem like it's moving. You can see it down. It's sticking nicely to the phone. So it seems like that one sticker along this back edge here did the trick, because when you open the phone, the hinge won't push this little piece over anymore, pushing the rest of the case off the phone. So it does look like you're going to end up needing to use at least one of those stickers. So let's take a look at the back of the phone. Again, I really do like this Kevlar, and the texture feels really nice. Again, it's nice and strong. It's going to keep down your fingerprints as well as keep down scratches. We do also have a pretty nice raised edge around our cameras for protection there too. Looks really nice. I like it. So now let's put on our tempered glass screen protector. Now you can do this one of two ways. You can use the case as a guide, or you can use the guide that it comes with. I'm going to just use the case as a guide because I've already installed it with the sticker on there and I don't want to take it off again. Either way should work fine. I actually think that putting the screen protector on with the case gives it a better alignment, because sometimes it's not aligned very well with the guide, and the case ends up pushing on the screen protector. So this should give you probably a better alignment, but we're going to find out in just a minute. So it looks like you can install this either way because there are no cutouts. There is a black border around the edge. So just peel this off. And then we'll place this on the phone. And then we'll just kind of press down in the middle here. And it seems like it adheres right to your phone pretty nicely. It does look like it's kind of coming up in the corner here. Let's see if we can push that down. So I needed to take the screen protector off and just reposition here because it was just ever so slightly off. Hopefully this should be a little better. So we do have a little bubble in the middle here. Just kind of try to push that away. All right, so for the most part, it looks pretty good. There are a little bit of bubbles because I had to pick it up and reposition. Just because I didn't push it far enough against the top. But after that, perfect alignment. You can see it looks really nice. There, as you can see, there's also no anti-glare either on this tempered glass screen protector. As far as fingerprints goes, seems to do a great job at fingerprint rejection, which is nice. And if we look at the side, with the screen protector on, you can see now how much of a raised edge we get around the front of the phone. So now your phone's pretty much covered front and back, which is nice. The screen protector feels super smooth, just like the glass that's on the phone. It is also a full coverage screen protector, so it does cover the camera. You can see the screen is crystal clear, touch working perfectly, no issues at all. Everything working well. Let's take a look at our selfie camera. There's not going to be any issues because that's how it is. It's just, it's nice and clear. So you won't have any problems taking any selfies. Now let's take a look at the screen as if we were looking at it through polarized sunglasses. And as you can see, I don't see any rainbow effect, which is great, especially if you're going to be using polarized sunglasses to look at your phone like I do. Very nice. So now let's turn it over to the back and test out our MagSafe. Got our MagSafe charger here, clips onto the back, charges the phone immediately. And as far as the hold, it's got an okay hold on the back. It's adequate to hold the phone on the charger, but it's definitely, it's not the strongest that I felt, but it's also not the weakest. I'd say it's about average. You can see that it is kind of slippery with the charger that I have. You can very easily rotate the screen. It just kind of rotates by itself. And then as far as our power bank goes, that seems to work as well. And it doesn't interfere with the camera lens bump either. It's pretty flush. So this seems like a really nice package. I do like the fact that you get the screen protector along with the case. The case does feel good in the hand. All the buttons are accessible. I really do like the Kevlar on the back. MagSafe could be a little bit stronger. I like the hinge on the side. And also you have to remember that if you're going to be using this case, you're going to want to at least use that one sticker to keep the front of the case in place, because when I opened and closed it, the front part of the case did come off by itself. So minus that one little issue, this does seem to be a pretty nice case with the screen protector. And then to get this case off, let's see, that's pretty easy to get off, to get the back off. And then the front, again, it's just being held on with that one sticker along the back, but you can get that off pretty easily as well. The only thing is, it seems like the sticker did come off once I took the front part off, so the sticker's still on my phone. So if you're going to be, removing your case and putting others on, this might not be the best case for you, because it looks like that sticker just came off right after the first use. And then here we have the BENKS ArmorGrid Combo with the ArmorGrid Armor Air case, which is their more minimalist case versus the Pro. So this combo comes with the case as well as their Glass Warrior tempered glass screen protector. You get one screen protector. Here is the back part of the case, and then here is the front part. That's it for the box. So again, here's the front part of the case, super thin, comes with some extra stickers in case you need them. And then here is the back cover, again with the sticker in case you need it. And this is also made of Kevlar. Looks really nice and premium. Feels like it too. Super thin. It does have MagSafe built in. Again, it's made of Kevlar through and through. It's not just an inlay. It's actually, the whole case is made of Kevlar, which is nice. And it also has a metal ring around the cameras to give it that extra premium feel. And we do have a hinge cover with some metal on it and some leatherette. It looks really nice. And again, we have the MagSafe on the inside. So let's take the stickers off here. And then really quick, let me show you how much of a raised edge we get without the tempered glass screen protector on the phone first. And if we take a look at the side, you can see that you do get a slight raised edge all the way around the front of the phone. Okay, so I've already installed the tempered glass screen protector from the first ArmorGrid Armor Pro case that I did. So I'm going to put on the front cover here, and then we can see how much of a raised edge we get with the tempered glass screen protector already installed. I'm going to push this down to make sure the stickers stay in place. Then we'll install our back cover here. Back cover had a sticker as well, so I'm going to press down on the back here along where the sticker was. Make sure that that's down in place. And there we go. Feels really nice in the hand. It does have a little bit of a grip on the edge here because of that leatherette, and the texture feels really nice. Case looks really premium on the phone too. Got a large cutout here for your buttons, so you can very easily press those and access those as well, which is nice. You can also see that it keeps the phone super slim. That looks really nice. Got the cutouts on the bottom here. There's that hinge on the side. It's got a nice spring back, which is good. On the back here again, you can see that textured Kevlar. Feels pretty cool as well. Keeps down fingerprints and scratches. And we have a nice little raised edge for our camera lens protection there too. That's good. So now let's open up the phone and see if the case moves any. It's not the easiest to open. It's still, because it's so thin and there's not any grip here, it makes it a little hard to open the phone. I don't think it's any more hard to open than it was if you didn't have a case on it, but at least your phone is protected now. So let's take a look here. And it looks like the case is in place. I don't see any movement in the corners, on the edges. And if we look here from the side, it looks like the case is very even. Same here. Let's open up that hinge. The hinge is kind of, it looks like it's on an angle. That seems to be the trend this year because there's a slight bit like missing from the back edge. I don't know if that's just to kind of give it that so it fits, or it kind of clips back into place better, but it doesn't seem like the case is moving. So it seems like the stickers are doing their job. And again, it's keeping the phone pretty much as thin as it was before you even put the case on. It would have been nice for them to put some texture or something along the edge here, because the Kevlar is not grippy just by nature. It's kind of smooth, not slippery, not grippy. It's just got kind of like a smooth feel. So it makes it a little more difficult to kind of open up the phone itself. But minus that, let's move on. We've got the MagSafe to check out here. So I've got my MagSafe charger, clips onto the back, charges your phone immediately. And for the hold, seems to have a pretty good hold. I think it's a little bit stronger than average. See that it keeps on, it connects to your MagSafe accessory without any issues. Mine's just super slick, so it makes it a lot easier for it to kind of rotate around. But the hold, I definitely think is above average. So that's nice. Now let's check out our power bank MagSafe. Charge your phone immediately, and it doesn't look like it interferes with the camera bump here. So that's nice. Everything is nice and straight, and there's no lifting. And then in case you missed it from the first installation I did on the ArmorGrid Armor Pro case, the screen protector. So it is a full coverage screen protector. It does a pretty good job of keeping down fingerprints. I didn't wipe down the screen at all during this whole thing, and you can only see some very slight smudges on the glass. There is also no anti-reflective coating on here. And as far as the clarity, super clear. Touch working beautifully. You can see that. It's nice and clear. Touch working fine. No issues whatsoever. And then for our camera, again, looking at it front, nice and clear. Don't have to worry about taking any selfies there either. So that's pretty nice. And then if we're looking at the screen, as if we were looking at through polarized sunglasses, it doesn't look like there's any rainbow effect. So that's definitely nice. But if there is, like a little blue tinge if you're looking at it like from that angle, but for the most part, there's no rainbow. So this is a pretty nice minimal case. It looks It looks premium, feels premium. I really do like some of the metal components that they've added into this case. I like the texturing on the back part here. Again, it does have a little bit of a grip for your thumb, but none right here, which makes it just a tad bit more difficult to open up the phone, which is, it's not really a huge issue, especially if you want to, a super thin case. MagSafe again seems to be a little bit stronger than average as well. So definitely not a bad case, but again, if you don't want to use stickers, you might not want to use this type of case. Well, let's see how hard it is to get off. Again, we are using the stickers on both parts here. The back seems to come off pretty easily. And then let's remove the top. And again, as you can see, just taking the front cover off one time, the stickers kind of come off with it. So again, if you're planning on taking your case off of your phone at all, then you might probably want to just not get this case, because these stickers seem to come off pretty easy just after the very first time taking the case off. So other than that, it seems like a pretty good case. Next up, we have the SUPCASE Slim Fit in a clear. And here is the case. So this case does have a built-in tempered glass screen protector, which is nice, protects the front of your phone. It's got a hinge protector along with a metal kickstand that also acts as your MagSafe ring. So the first thing we need to do before we put the front cover on is to thoroughly clean off the front screen of your phone, because you don't want anything trapped underneath. And once you've cleaned that off, we can peel off the inside cover here along with its sticker. And then we just place this over the top of our phone. And just press down on the edge here, because that's where the sticker is. So that stays down. And then we can peel off that top protector, take off that plastic cover, and then we'll put our phone on the inside. I didn't notice that. Clips into place. And there we go. Pretty nice clear case. Does feel grippy, which is good. Does have a large cutout on the side for your buttons, so you can very easily access the power and the volume buttons. If we take a look at it from the side, you can see how much of a raised edge we have on the front of the screen here, along with the tempered glass. It also doesn't add a lot of extra bulk to the phone, which is good. Got our cutouts on the bottom here. Screen feels pretty smooth, just like the glass that's on the phone. On the back here, again, you've got your metal kickstand ring. That's also your MagSafe. And we do have a slight raised edge for protection for our lenses there too. Now this kickstand doesn't rotate, so that's pretty much it. So you can put your phone in a portrait mode. You can lay it down in landscape closed. And then when it's opened, let's see how it stands. Yeah, it stands upright perfectly. And that kind of, so you got to kind of angle that, and then you can kind of angle it towards your face. And then if we want to lay it down the other way, it's kind of off on an angle. So you can kind of lay it down so it's angled towards your face that way, or you can also kind of stand it up as well. And then it folds pretty much back into the case. It just has a very slight bump, not totally flush. You can see it right there. Just a slight raised edge. And as far as the MagSafe hold on the back, feels pretty good. Charges your phone immediately. And as far as the hold, I'd say it's got a pretty good hold on the back. It's definitely stronger than average. Now, like with all the other Hinge MagSafe accessory backed cases that I've tested, when you try to pull the MagSafe accessory away, you're pulling away that kickstand, because the hinge is the weak point. The magnets are so strong that it's like it pulls away from the phone. It's something you're just going to have to live with if you decide to get one of these types of cases. And this happens with every single one of these cases that I've tested ever. So let's test out our power bank here. Clips onto the back, charges your phone immediately, and it looks like it comes in contact with the edge of the cameras, maybe ever so slightly. It doesn't look like there's any bump, but you can see that it's like missing in the back here, so it might rock just a little bit, but it does charge your phone. And then let's open and close the case here. Definitely easier to open the phone with this case on there because of the slight grip that it offers, which is nice. So it doesn't look like the case is moving at all. You can see in the corners here, it's flush with the case. So there's no case movement there. We can look at the corners here. See that it has not moved at all. So that is definitely nice. As far as the springiness of the hinge, pretty springy. It doesn't seem like it has that little clip that some of them does, but it seems to come back pretty much flush. So don't have to worry about that. And then as far as the tempered glass screen protector, you can see that it did pick up some fingerprints here. Let's try to wipe those away. Yeah, they wipe away pretty easily, minimal effort. Let's just test it out one more time to see. So it does pick up some smudges on the screen, but again, they wipe away pretty easily. And look, I don't know if you can see on the screen here, all those little dots. I think that's to keep down the rainbow effect, which I'll show you in just a minute. It also does not have an anti-reflective coating, so you can see, that it reflects pretty much everything on the glass. Again, as far as touch, nice and smooth, just like the glass that's on the phone. It looks nice and clear as well. No issues with touch. And then we'll take a look at our front camera. Again, nice and clear. So you don't have to worry about taking any selfies. And we do have some cutouts for the grill speaker at the top there as well. And then, like I mentioned before, the rainbow effect. If you're looking at your screen through polarized sunglasses, sometimes there's a rainbow effect on the screen. And there you can see that there's kind of some blue and pink pastel colors that you can see. And that's what you will see if you use polarized sunglasses while looking at the screen. Not horrible, but it is there. And then let's take off the case here to see how easily it comes off. So the back cover comes off pretty easily. And then the front cover, because it's got those stickers, is a little bit harder. But it does come off, and it seems like the stickers are still inside the case as well, which is definitely a plus. So not too bad. Seems like a pretty nice clear case. Again, the MagSafe hold on the back seems to be better than average. You got a nice clear backing that does show off the color of your phone, but it does get fingerprints as well. Hinge cover covers the hinge on the side. It does have a little bit of a grip, which makes it easier to open up the phone. And I do like the inclusion of the tempered glass screen protector. So I definitely think that this is a pretty nice clear case to get. Next up, we have the SUPCASE Aero in Aramid fiber. Now this case is pretty interesting because you get this back cover here, but there's no front cover. Instead, it actually comes with two tempered glass screen protector options. One is a privacy screen, and the other is a clear tempered glass. So you have the option to use both, and on the screen protector itself has this rubbery type edge, which is pretty unique. I've never seen that before, so we're going to install these. We also get the installation guide as well. So back to the case here. Again, it's got this Aramid fiber on the back, which looks really nice. This case has also been military grade drop tested. We do have a metal kickstand ring on the back that also does rotate 360 degrees. And it seems like it almost fits flush back into the case, just a slight bump here. We do get a super thick raised edge on the front. And I don't know if I already said this, we get the hinge cover on the side. So the first thing we need to do is to install the tempered glass screen protector. And what we need to do before that is to clean off our screen thoroughly with the included alcohol wipe. Then we're going to take our installation guide, making sure where it says top goes towards the camera on your phone. And just press that over the top, making sure that it's flush with your phone. So again, first we're going to install the clear tempered glass screen protector. And there you can see that kind of like that black rubber edge all the way around the screen. So we'll peel this off, making sure that the top here goes towards the top of the installation guide. Put this into place here, and then we'll just kind of press down in the middle and it should adhere to your phone. I think that installed pretty good. Just kind of wipe down some of the bubbles here. Then we can take off the installation guide very carefully. That looks pretty nice. You can see that rubberized edge. I really like that. I've never seen that on any tempered glass screen protector before. So now we can put on the back cover. There's also no stickers, which I like. Kind of press this into place. And there we go. So there's no front cover per se for this case. It's just that the edge of the case comes up so high that it kind of covers the front edge, not by much though. As far as the feels pretty good in the hand. It's got a slight texturing on the side with the rubber, which definitely does help it give it some grip in your hand. The other side has like some of that texture as well. So definitely a good fit for the feel in my hand. There's also a large cutout here for your buttons. See how easy that is to press. So the case, again, like one other case I've tested so far, the case actually comes out a little bit over the edge here. So when you're pressing in, you're pressing kind of over the case, which is kind of annoying, but you can still access the buttons fairly easy. You just kind of get your finger over that little edge of the case. If we look at it from the side, you can see it doesn't add a ton of extra bulk, but there is a slight bit. And you can also see that there's only a slight raised edge around the front of the glass here. So if you happen to drop your phone and and it falls in the face, it's most likely going to crack the tempered glass screen protector. So I would like to see just a ever so slight raised edge, more than what's on there already. If we take a look at the bottom here, you can see we've got our cutouts, and there's a good bit of the phone kind of exposed where the case doesn't go all the way around. I kind of would like to see the case go all the way, but I'm not sure why they did that. Anyway, on the back, we've got the Aramid fiber. Feels really nice. It does have a little bit of a texture to it. Keeps down the fingerprints as well as scratches. We've got the metal kickstand ring, and also it seems like we have a metal ring for our camera lens protection as well. It just ever so slightly comes up above those lenses. So let's open and close the case, see how easy it is. So you're gonna have to grab the phone and the case. And so you can see how much like extra edge we get now. So I don't know how annoying that is going to be if you want to kind of hold onto your phone. You're going to have to hold onto this edge, which is kind of weird. Then when we close it, the phone just goes back inside this large raised edge. So that's new. I've never seen that before. I don't know that I really like it. It's a little bit easier to open the phone, not by much, because you're still grabbing onto the phone here, which is super slick, and then you have a little bit of texture on the edge of the case, so it's just ever so slightly easier to open and close your phone. But this huge raised edge, I really don't know that I like that. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. I think just because of this, I wouldn't get this case, because again, when you're gonna hold onto the phone, you're gonna be holding onto these edges, which is, I don't know. I'm not really a fan of that. But I mean, I guess it does kind of work. Just there's just not much protection for the front of the phone. So let's check out our MagSafe on the back here. Got a pretty nice hold, charges your phone immediately. And yeah, it's got a nice strong hold on the back. Way better than an average hold. But again, when you pull away your MagSafe accessory, you're pulling away the hinge as well, because it's just not strong enough to overcome the strength of that magnet. Now let's try our power bank. Strong hold again. Again, we have the same little gap here at the bottom because it doesn't fit flush with the case, but it doesn't seem to interfere with the charging of the power bank either, which is nice. And then for the kickstand, again, it rotates 360 degrees, so you can have your phone laying, standing in a portrait, laying down in a landscape. We can open it up, see how good it stands up, pretty good straight, and then laying down, good as well. And again, you can rotate this so you have some more adjustment as far as how far it lays down. And then it almost fits flush back into the case. So now that we've gone over the case, let's go over the tempered glass. And it looks like throughout touching the screen, there's only some slight smudges. So it seems to do a pretty good job at keeping down fingerprints, and they wipe away pretty easily. As far as the feel, feels like the glass that's on the phone. Also, there's no anti-reflective coating on the screen. Let's test out our fingerprints again. Yeah, it seems to do a pretty good job of keeping down fingerprints, only slight smudges. Screen is nice and clear, touch working fine. No issues there. Let's check out our camera. Camera's nice and clear as well, so no problems there. So I mean, I guess it's a cool concept that they came out with. This is the first time that they've done this for the fold phone. I do like the way that it feels in the hand. It's got a nice grip to it, especially because of the texture. The hinge does a good job at protecting the hinge there. The MagSafe on the back is nice and strong. I like the inclusion of the kickstand. The Aramid fiber is nice as well. But again, what I don't like is the fact that it's got this huge raised edge here when you open up the phone, and then there's not much of a raised edge to help protect the front of the phone either. So again, I mean, I guess if I had to buy this again, I probably would not. So because of that, I wouldn't recommend it to you guys. But I don't know, based on what you've seen, do you like that there's this huge edge on the side? I can't imagine that most people would, but we'll see. So let's see how easy it is to take this off. So that, let's see. It doesn't seem to come off very easily. So you want to be very careful here because you don't want to damage the phone. So, man, yeah, this is going to be annoying. Let's see if I can push it off through the cameras. Yeah, so you're going to have to push your finger against the cameras and then push off on the edge of the case, and then you should be able to easily get it off, because if you don't, you might risk damaging the phone. It's on there pretty good. So now that we've gone over the clear tempered glass, let's put on the privacy and see what that's like. This has the same rubber edge as the clear did. Put that into place, and there we go. So again, no anti-reflective coating. Feels nice and smooth, just like the glass that's on the phone. It is also nice and clear. Touch working fine. There is a slight dimming of the screen. I've got my, well, I've got my brightness up all the way, so it makes it look really good. And then if we turn it to the side, you can see that the screen just kind of disappears, which is pretty cool. It only works side to side. It does not work up and down. And let's take a look at the rainbow effect here to see if there's any rainbow. And you can still see that there is a slight rainbow effect on the screen. Not horrible, but again, it is there. And let's take a look at our selfie camera. And again, that looks pretty clear. I don't see any change between the privacy and the regular glass that is actually on the phone. So that's the privacy screen. The next case we have up is the SUPCASE UB Grip case. And here is the case. It comes in a couple different colors. We do have a metal kickstand on the back that does act as your MagSafe ring. We have a hinge protector, and it also comes with two front covers that have tempered glass screen protectors in a privacy tempered glass or a clear tempered glass. So we're going to install the clear tempered glass first. So it seems like there's no stickers on the inside of this case, which I actually like, except for the front part here that does have this one sticker along the edge. The very first thing we need to do is to thoroughly clean off the front screen because we don't want anything trapped underneath the screen protector. So once you have that done, we'll peel off the sticker and then take off the protector on the inside. And then we can put this over the top of our phone. Kind of clips into place. And we can peel off the top protector. And then put this in our back cover. This case has already also been military grade drop tested as well. So it should protect your phone pretty well. And it does look like it has some reinforcements already in these corners in case you happen to drop your phone. As far as it feels in the hand, it feels okay. It feels plasticky on the side. It does have this plastic texture to kind of help with the grip. It would be a lot better if it was rubbery, but it is what it is. And the same thing goes for the other side. It's got this like it has a texture, but it seems like it's not as plasticky as the other side. So again, it's supposed to help with grip. We do have a large cutout for our power and our volume buttons, which you can very easily press and access, which I like. You can already see the reinforcements over in the corners here. So in case you happen to drop your phone, this will give you some more protection. If we take a look at it from the side, you can see that it does add a little bit of bulk to the phone. And we also do have a slight raised edge around the front for protection there too. If we look at the bottom, we've got our cutouts on the back. It's got a really nice matte metallic look. Keeps down fingerprints. We also have the metal kickstand ring. It doesn't rotate, but it does fold into the case and fold down. So you can have your phone in a portrait or a landscape mode. And then if we open up the case, it does stand upright. And then you can also kind of lay it down so it angles towards your face as well, which is pretty nice. And then it folds into the case pretty flush, which I like, versus the other two SUP cases that we've tested. There was a slight bulge there where this one does not have that. And then we also do have a slight raised edge to protect our camera lenses. So again, in the hand, it does have the slight texture to help with grip. It does an okay job at that. Again, I'd really like this to be more rubbery, kind of like it is on the side here. But let's try to open and close the case. Definitely easier to open the phone with this on here. It has kind of like this beveled edge that goes in, so it kind of catches your thumb on the edge there, making it easier to open, which I definitely like. Again, while the phone is open, you can see how thick these edges are for the reinforcement in case you happen to drop your phone. And so it doesn't look like the case is moving at all. Looks pretty flush around the corners and on the sides. And if we look here, you can see that it doesn't look like the case has moved either. Looks pretty even. So that's definitely a plus. So it's a pretty nice case. Again, this does come in a couple different colors. Let's test out our MagSafe on the back here. Clips onto the back, charges your phone immediately. And as far as the hold, definitely way better than average. So it's got a nice strong hold on the back, but again, because the hinge is the weak point, you know, the phone can rock back and forth when it's on your MagSafe accessory. That's the only downside. Again, this happens with every single case that I've ever tested that has this type of hinge on there. It's just the magnet is much stronger than the hinge, but it does have a nice strong hold on the back. Let's test out our power bank. Clips onto the back again. And it seems like it just butts right up to the camera lens protector, but it's pretty flat. And you can see it doesn't rock either. So that's good as well. And as far as the springiness of the hinge, nice spring on the hinge, comes right back as soon as you pull it. So That should be pretty good, especially when you're opening and closing the phone. Now let's test out the tempered glass screen protector. So it looks pretty clear. It does pick up some fingerprints you can see on the screen here. It wipes away pretty easily. As far as the feel, feels nice and smooth, just like the glass that's on the phone. Touch working fine. You can see the screen is nice and clear. There's no anti-glare coating on this tempered glass screen protector, which mostly there isn't. I haven't seen that yet in my testing. As far as our front camera looks nice and clear. No problems there. And now let's take a look at the screen as if we're looking at it through polarized sunglasses. And it looks like there's an ever so slight rainbow, just depending on how you're looking at the phone, but for the most part, you won't really notice it. And we also do have the carbon fiber looking inlays on the top and the bottom here. And that's about it. So it is a nice protective case, and it's not slippery. The texturing on the side does do a pretty good job at helping with grip. Again, I just kind of would like this to be a little bit more rubbery to kind of feel better in the hand instead of kind of like feeling like plastic. Good reinforcements in the edges to help with drop protection. The kickstand on the back is a nice addition in case you want to prop up your phone. MagSafe is definitely stronger than average on here, but again, you do have to, deal with that hinge kind of coming off along with the MagSafe. Opening and closing the phone, very nice. It's very easy to do, makes it a lot easier than it would if you didn't have the case on here, and it also doesn't add a lot of extra bulk to the phone either. And with the inclusion of the tempered glass screen protector, covers the front. So definitely a nice case. I would buy this again, and I would definitely recommend it to you guys. So let's see how easy it is to take off the phone now. So if we push in the corner here, comes off fairly easily with a little bit of force. And then here we've got that sticker. So it might be a little bit more difficult to get off. And it doesn't look like the sticker came off with it either, so that is definitely a plus. And then here we have the privacy tempered glass screen front. And here is our privacy screen. So for the privacy screen, we have a little cutout or a piece that doesn't have the privacy screen for the front camera, but the rest has the privacy. And as far as touch, nice and smooth, just like the glass that's on the phone. You can see it's nice and clear. The privacy screen will dull the brightness a little bit, so I had to turn mine up all the way, but you can see the screen is crystal clear. Touch working without any issues. And let's look at our front camera. Front camera nice and clear, so there's no issues there. Let's take a look at the screen as if we're looking at it through polarized sunglasses, and you can see the rainbow effect is pretty bad. That's probably the worst that I've seen. So that's definitely not good, especially if you're going to be using polarized sunglasses. And if we twist it to the side, you can see that the screen does disappear. It doesn't work up and down though, just left and right. Next up, we have the POETIC Spartan case. So here is the case. We have a clear backing on here surrounded by a MagSafe ring, and it also has a built-in tempered glass screen protector, which is pretty nice. We've got a hinge protector, and the back is a frosted clear, which I absolutely love. Now, before we put on the front protector, we need to make sure that we thoroughly clean off our screen with the included alcohol wipe. And then we'll peel off the inner protector along with the sticker strip. I'll place this over the top of our phone and clip down the bottom part, make sure that that's on there. Then we can run our finger down the edge where the sticker is, and then peel off the top protector. Then we'll put this in the back cover. So this seems like a pretty nice case as well. Feels good in the hand. It's got kind of like a smooth, rubbery type feel on the sides. It also has texture to help with grip, and this also does have a kickstand on the side as well, which we will be testing out in just a minute because that seems pretty cool. See, it just comes out like that. I think you can only use that when the phone is open, but again, we're going to test it in just a second. But again, feels nice in the hand. We do have a cutout here just for the power button. We've got volume buttons on the side here that actually cover the buttons on the phone, which are kind of hard to press. They're clicky, but you've got to press on them pretty hard to get them to do anything, which I don't particularly like. The power button, very easy to get to, very easy to press, which is good. It also doesn't add a lot of extra bulk to the phone, just enough to kind of protect it. This kickstand is also metal. We have our cutouts on the bottom. Got some reinforcements in the corners to help with drops as well. On the back, again, we got that nice frosted plastic backing that keeps down fingerprints, shows off the color of your phone. We've got kind of like a textured MagSafe ring on the back, and we also do have a raised edge around our camera lenses as well. It's pretty nice. Let's test out the opening. Nice and easy to open, which I can appreciate. We also have texturing on this side as well, which does help with opening the phone. So let's see if the case is moved, and it doesn't look like it. It looks like it's pretty even all the way around with the phone, so it doesn't seem like it's moved. And if we look at the side here, you can see that it's pretty even on the bottom. The other side as well, which is good. As far as the hinge spring, nice and springy, springs right back against the phone. It's pretty hard too, so that should last you a pretty good amount of time. Now, as far as this kickstand, again, you just kind of gotta pull it out from the bottom and it opens up like this. You can see that you can't use it when the phone is closed, but you can use it when the phone is open. So it stands up in a portrait mode and then in a landscape as well. And you just kind of fold the phone. That's about the only adjustment that you're going to have there. And then it kind of clips right back into place against the phone. So it kind of blends in to the hinge here. I like it. It's an inclusion of the kickstand, which you don't have to have an extra piece here. And as I showed you in my other cases that have the kickstand that comes out here, it pulls away when you pull off your MagSafe ring, which I don't care for. But let's see how strong this MagSafe ring is on the back. Clips onto the back, charges your phone immediately. And as far as the hold, it's got a nice strong hold on the back as well. Stronger than average, so that is definitely a plus. Rotates pretty easily as well. Yeah, it's got a nice hold on the back. And they've also made a cutout here, so if you want to use a power bank, you don't have to worry about the power bank interfering with the lens cover. You can see it's totally away from the power bank. So if you're going to be using a MagSafe power bank with this case, it should work perfectly fine. So that is pretty nice. And then as far as the screen protector, feels nice and smooth, just like the glass that's on the phone. It does seem to do a pretty good job at rejecting fingerprints too, which I like. You can see there's not a lot of smudges on the screen. There is also no anti-glare for this tempered glass, but that's pretty much par for everyone that we've tested so far. The screen looks nice and clear, very bright. Touch is working fine. No issues there. If we take a look at the front camera is nice and clear as well, so no issues with your selfies. And let's take a look to see if there's any rainbow effect. And it's depending on which angle you're looking at the screen, you might see a rainbow. Like that's a drastic angle, but if you're looking at it kind of dead on, there's really not a lot of rainbow to see. So if you're going to be using this phone with polarized sunglasses, you should have a pretty good experience. So I'm really liking this case. Again, like I said, feels good in the hand. It's got some grip to it. I like that they put the grip on each one of the sides here. Makes it easy to open and close. The MagSafe ring on the back is nice and strong. There's nothing to pull away either. There's a cutout for your power bank. I like the kickstand hinge on the back as well. The only thing that kills this case is how hard it is to press these volume buttons. If you don't care about that, then this case is pretty nice. But for me to pressing in on the volume buttons, shouldn't be this hard, and for me, it kills this case. So I'm kind of torn. Everything else about the case is good except for these volume buds. I think if I were to have to buy this again, I probably would not, unfortunately. But it's up to you. Do all the pros outweigh the volume buttons? Let me know in the comments below. So now let's see how easy it is to take this off the phone. So pretty easy to take off the back there. And then for the front, that seems to come off with a little bit of effort, and the sticker does not come off on the phone either, so that's a plus as well. Our next case is the UAG Mouve. This case has been military grade drop tested. It does have MagSafe on the back. It has a two-piece design. It's got a back and a front, and this also does seem to use stickers along the edge here to try to keep it in place. It also has a really nice soft kind of touch feel to it. You can also see the color of your phone through the back of the case. Let's take off our stickers here, and this goes on to the back of the phone. It clips into place, and press down where the stickers are. Then we'll do the same thing for the front of the case. Put this over the top, clips into place. And again, kind of run your finger along the edge here where that sticker is. And there we go. So it doesn't look like it adds a lot of extra bulk to the phone. There is no hinge protection for this case. You can see how thick it makes the phone from the corners here. It's got some like a texturing on the side to help with grip. Got our cutouts in the bottom here. And if we look around the front, you can see how much of a raised edge we get on the front of the phone. It's a pretty good raised edge. As far as the feel, feels nice in the hand. It's not grippy, and it's not really slippery. It's just got kind of like the smooth, rubbery type feel to it. We also do have the large cutouts on the side here, so you can very easily press in that power button and get the fingerprint to work with your finger. Just like that. And you can also get your volume buttons to work as well. As far as the grip on the side of the phone, I mean, you can kind of feel it. It's really only going to be for the bottom two fingers here. I don't know that it really gives you any better hold on the case. I mean, I guess it does help a little bit. It would be nice if it was kind of all the way around the case, but you know, it is what it is. And then you got kind of like the smooth, cold feel of that hinge on the other side of the phone. Doesn't feel bad in the hand. I think it feels pretty good. And again, on the back here, we've got that really nice soft feel that keeps down the fingerprints. We've got our MagSafe ring, and we also do have a slight raised edge for our camera bumps as well. And if we put the phone on our back and try to type, you can see that it does rock back and forth. Go back there. And then let's test out our MagSafe. Clips onto the back, charges your phone immediately. And as far as the hold, I think it has an okay hold on here. Not too bad. And of course the case does kind of rotate 360 degrees, except for the bump that's hitting my cable when it reaches that side. So almost 360 degrees, at least the use with this wireless charger here. And then if we test it out with a power bank, let's see how it works. It does seem to fit flush with the case because there is a cutout at the very bottom of the camera lens protector, which allows you to still use a power bank of this side. So that is definitely a nice touch. So let's open and close the case and see how well that stays in place. Definitely makes it much easier to open and close the phone, especially with these little grips here. Maybe that's what those are for more than what the grip is when you just have it closed. So that definitely helps. Let's take a look at the edges here. It doesn't seem like the case is moving. It's pretty, oh, no, that looks pretty good. Then let's take a look at the side here. And you can see that it's about as flush as it was when we first put it on. maybe a slight, I don't know if that's movement or if it just is the way that I put it on the phone. Let's kind of move this. It was, you can see right there how this side is slightly down a little more than the other side. So maybe it was when I installed it. I'm going to try to lift up this edge here and kind of push it up a little bit. And I think that's good. Let's push down this edge here again. Then we'll open and close it one more time just to make sure. That might have been the way that it was when I just installed it. Let's take a look here. I think that looks pretty good. I don't think that that's moved at all. I think it looks pretty good. So for the most part, this is staying where it was. I don't see any movement. See, it's still kind of offset. Like this side is down a little bit more. Again, I don't know if that's the way that I installed it or if it's just, if it's slightly moving. I'm not 100% sure. But this does seem like a pretty nice case. I do like the fact that it's got the nice soft touch to keep down the fingerprints. There's a slight raised edge here, and I love the cutout for the use of the power bank on the back. I would like to see this not use stickers. I'm not a huge fan of stickers anyway. Maybe a hinge cover here would have been nice. And maybe a little bit more grip just when you're holding it with your one hand, but not too bad. Pretty nice case. Everything seems to be fairly good, except for the fact that it might be moving when I'm opening and closing the case. Again, like I said, I'm not 100% sure, but it seems like one part of this case is just slightly more offset than the other side. But that's really the only gripe that I have with this phone, or the phone case rather. And then to take this off, comes off fairly easy, so you don't have to really fight with it if you're going to be, you know, taking it on and off your case, your phone. So you don't have to really fight with it if you're taking it on and off your phone. Our next case is going to be the UAG Mouve XTE. This is just like the Mouve case, but this one actually has a metal kickstand on the back that also doubles as its MagSafe ring, so you have a stand with you at all times. Again, this one does use some stickers. It actually has some extra stickers right here and still on the side. So let's take off all of our stickers here first before we put this on the back. Oh, that's nice. It took the sticky part right off. So that's great. So put this on our phone. This one seems to have a little bit more protection too versus the regular XTE case, or I'm sorry, the regular Mouve case. Try to line this up better than we did before. That seems to be lined up pretty good. Push down on that sticker here. All right. So this feels pretty good in the hand. It is definitely a little bit more bulky than the regular Mouve. You can definitely see it on the side here. We do have some like slight indentations. I'm assuming it's more for grip on the sides and for drop protection. This case has also been military grade drop tested as well. If we look at the side, you can see how much of a raised edge we get on the front of our phone. Again, feels pretty good in the hand. It's not grippy. It's got kind of like, again, that same like smooth rubbery type feel. You can also very easily access the power buttons and everything on the side here. My fingerprint doesn't want to work most of the time. It's working there. But you can very easily access that one button. And if we take a look at the bottom, you can see our cutouts. Again, that same kind of little indentation all the way around the sides of the phone, which is nice. On the back, again, it's got that nice soft, smooth feel that keeps down the fingerprints. The kickstand is not flush with the case. You can kind of see it protrudes a little bit out the back. And we also do have a slight raised edge for some camera protection there too. So let's try to open and close the phone. Definitely much easier to open and close the phone than the regular Mouve case was, because I think it's got this extra piece at the bottom here, which is nice. So let's take a look, and it looks like it's pretty even. It doesn't seem like the case is moving at all, so that's good. And then on the back here, again, we have that metal kickstand that rotates 360 degrees. So you can use your phone in a landscape or portrait mode. You can also open up the phone and use it in its portrait or, again, a landscape. You can kind of like lay it down like that, or you can also stand it up a little more if you need. So either way that works. Just, I kind of wish that the back ring fit flush inside of the phone, but again, it just protrudes off a little bit. Let's test out our MagSafe. Clips onto the back, charges your phone immediately. And as far as the hold, it's got a pretty good hold on the back too. Again, with these hinge kickstands on the back, the magnets are so strong that when you try to pull off your MagSafe accessory, it kind of pulls the hinge away from the phone. But you're going to have that with any case that has this type of kickstand ring. It's inevitable because the magnets are a lot stronger than what the hinge can handle. But it definitely does seem to have a pretty good hold on the back. So if you like the Mouve, but you wanted a little bit more protection, I think the XTE is the way to go because it does have a more prominent raised edge on the front and on the corners here in case you happen to drop it. Of course, this one also does not have any hinge protection, so if you happen to, drop it here, it's going to dent or scratch your hinge. The MagSafe ring in the back, I like the kickstand. Again, I just kind of wish that it was more flush with the case. And also, let's check out using a power bank. Power bank does clip onto the back nice and flush again because it does have that cutout. So power bank does work well with this case too. And then if you need to take this off your phone, let's see how easily this comes off. Comes off pretty easily. And this side does pretty much too. So again, you don't have to fight with taking this case off if you want to get it off your phone. And let's see how much this case weighs. 52.3 grams. The next case we have up is the VRS Design Modern case. Now, this is the second time I'm going to have to install this case because my camera shut off and corrupted my data. So I've already installed this once. I've already installed the tempered glass screen protector that this actually comes with. So I'm just going to go over everything one more time. So the case is made of a hard plastic. It does have the MagSafe ring built in. It's got a hinge cover that's all plastic as well. And the front cover of the case does use stickers all over. You can kind of see the sticky part here. And when I took this off my phone for the very first time, one of the stickers kind of came off. So if you're going to be, taking this case off your phone a lot, you might want to stay away from this case. But I will show you what this case looks like without the tempered glass screen protector on it. But I'm just going to install it with the screen protector on right now. So there's the front cover. We'll put it in the back here. And there it is on the phone. So it doesn't feel great in the hand because this is a hard plastic. It does have a slight texture, but it does not do anything for the grip whatsoever. It's just a slippery hard plastic. And on the other side, it's got that same slippery plastic on one of the edges that you're going to grip to open the phone, which does not make it easy to open. We do have a cutout here so you can easily access your buttons. And if we look at the side, this is how much of a raised edge we get with the tempered glass on. Really not great. I'd like to see maybe a little bit more of a raised edge, but it is what it is. It also does add a little bit of extra bulk to the phone. On the back side, again, we've got our MagSafe ring and a slight raised edge for our camera protection. So let's open and close the phone. Again, like I said, this is the second time I'm doing this. And I know that opening this case isn't as easy as some of the other cases that do have a slight grip here without that hard, slippery plastic, which I'm not sure why they did that. but the case does seem to kind of stay in place when I do open and close the phone. At least it did the first time. Now the front cover just popped off. Now, like I mentioned, one of the stickers came off when I took this off my phone for the very first time, so that could definitely have something to do with it. So again, it's another downside. If you're gonna take this off your phone and put it on and off, the stickers might come off and you might have the issue that you just saw. So you saw without the stickers, the case does move. You can see that it just unclipped again. So that's definitely something that I don't like. Let's test out the MagSafe ring on the back again. It does seem to have a pretty nice hold with this MagSafe ring. It's pretty slippery. I mean, with this MagSafe charger, it does seem to be kind of slippery, so that may or may not be good for you. But it does have a pretty decent hold on the back, which is a plus. And then as far as using a MagSafe power bank, it does seem to fit on there perfectly fine. And then here's what that front cover looks like without the tempered glass screen protector. You can see that there is more of a raised edge on the front of the phone. So again, I said the first time I wouldn't recommend this case because I don't like the way it feels in my hand. There's no grip. It's just kind of like a smooth, hard plastic. Knowing that this comes off now without the stickers is just another point to tell you to stay away from this case. I also don't like the fact that they used the slippery hard plastic on the bottom here, right where I'm going to try to open my phone. But the one good thing is the MagSafe ring has a pretty decent hold. So I would not buy this case again, and I'm not going to recommend it to you guys either. I just tell you to pass on this, but let's see how easy it is to take off. Fairly easily to take off on the back, and then because that sticker's gone, it's a little bit more easy to take off on the front. And then let's see how much this case actually weighs. 58.4 grams. And then as far as the tempered glass on the front, you can already see there are fingerprints everywhere. So it's probably not gonna have an oleophobic coating, or it's gonna be fairly weak if it actually does. Let's clean it off. And this screen protector does not have an anti-reflective coating either. Let's check out our fingerprints. And as I suspected, you can see there's a whole bunch of smudges on the front of the screen. So definitely not the best screen protector that there is, but they seem to wipe away fairly easily. Not horrible, but again, it would have been nice if it had a better oleophobic coating, if it does at all. And then here we have VRS Design's Modern Go case. This is just like the Modern, but with one difference. It has a card holder on the back here. You can see it probably holds a couple of cards in the back, and then you just kind of close this up so you maybe don't have to carry your wallet around with you. Now, I've already got the tempered glass screen protector installed on here, but I will in just a second show you what it looks like without the tempered glass screen protector on there with the case. Again, you can see that there are stickers along the edge here and on the other edge as well that we have to take off first. So I've taken the stickers off, so let's put this on our case here, or on our phone rather. The screen protector just kind of popped up. Seems like the case was pushing on it a little bit. Let's put this in the back, clip it on. And there we go. Again, doesn't feel great in the hand like the Modern did. It just feels very plasticky, no grip at all, even though there is some texture on the hinge. On the other side, again, now it's an even bigger piece of plastic right here. And because of that, you can also see how much more thick the case is versus the other cases, but you do have the inclusion of that card holder. And we're probably not going to be able to use wireless charging either because of that, the card holder too. We also do have a slight raised edge for our camera protection. And let's open and close the case. It's not horrible, but again, I would like to see a little bit more texture kind of on the bottom here instead of that plastic. But it does seem like the case is staying in place. Now remember, When I opened and closed the other Modern, without that one sticker on the side, the front part of the case did move. But because there are two pieces of the sticker here, it's not moving. So once that sticker fails, you can almost guarantee that the front cover is going to move once you open and close the case. But with the sticker, it does seem to stay in place pretty good. Let's check out that card holder. So let's see how many flat cards we can fit in here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 maybe? No. So maybe 3. Let's take this out. Yeah, it's about 3 flat cards. So there's no embossment on these cards. And then, I mean, to open it, this card hinge seems to be pretty strong. I mean, I don't know. It's not easy to open this at all. So I definitely think that you don't have to worry about your cards just falling out. You're really going to have to put some effort to open this hinge. And it kind of like springs back once you get it past a certain point. It just kind of springs closed. And as far as taking your cards out, I mean, you can get them out pretty easily. You're just going to have to, you know, maybe take out all of them to get to the bottom. And then if you want to take out one, it's I mean, it's easier just to kind of take them all out and then take the one that you need off the top. But it seems like 3 cards is going to be it. And then that minute just like slams shut. So you lose wireless charging, but you gain a card holder. And then here's what that front cover looks like without the tempered glass screen protector. You can see that there is more of a raised edge on the front of the phone. So not a horrible case. Again, it's got the same qualities as the Modern does. I don't like the plasticky feel. I would like to see more of a grip on the hinge. Again, with those stickers, once they come off, this front piece is going to move around when you open and close the case. And I would really like to see some grip or some sort of grippy rubber down here to make it a little easier to open and close the phone. Well, let's see how hard it is to take off the case. Not too bad for the back. And then for the front, the stickers. Like you see, just like I said, if you take this off one time, the stickers on the inside, they start to come out. And again, if you put this back on your phone and you try to open and close it, this piece is going to move. So again, if you plan on, you know, taking your case, taking it on and off your phone, this is probably a case you're going to want to definitely pass on. And then here we have the PITAKA Ultra Slim Aramid Fiber case. So here is the case. It is made of 600D Aramid fiber. It's got a little texture to it. It also does keep down fingerprints, and it also is pretty strong. It's very light, super thin, and it also has MagSafe built in. We have a sticker here, and this is the only part of the case. There is no front cover. It's only the back. So you might want to invest in a tempered glass screen protector if you're going to be using something like this. So we'll take the sticker off on the back here. We'll put our phone inside the case. And then just kind of run your finger down that side that's got the sticker. And you're all done. So, I mean, it's almost like you're pretty much just holding your phone. Now, the one thing I will say is because this piece protrudes over your buttons, it actually comes out a little bit more than the button. So it makes it harder to actually press those buttons because you're pressing against the case itself, which I don't like. Like, I'm not sure why they made it protrude out further than your buttons, but it definitely does make it harder to press in those buttons. Like I'm pushing on the side here and I'm not actually pressing the button. I'm pressing the side of the case. You have to kind of get your finger over the part of the case and then you can press the button. So not a big fan of that. I also would really like to see a front part of the case. I don't like how not symmetrical it is. That's just me. If you're like me and you would like to see the top part of the case as well as the back, let me know in the comments below, because I definitely don't just like one part of the case. So it's kind of like holding your phone without a case on it, but it's harder to press the buttons. That's pretty much it. Now, again, it's got MagSafe built in, and it also has a metal ring around our camera lenses that is it's about flush with the lenses themselves. So not a lot of protection there either. Let's test out our MagSafe. Clips onto the back, charges your phone. And as far as the hold, it's got an okay hold on the back. Not bad. You can see it's kind of slippery, especially with this MagSafe charger I have. So not the strongest, not the worst, but I think it's adequate to hold the phone on the charger itself. Let's test out our power bank. Clips onto the back. Seems to fit. Doesn't seem like there's a gap in it. Also charges your phone as well. So it's just the MagSafe magnet hold with the power bank, because the camera ring is just touching the power bank here. It doesn't have a very strong hold on the back, as you can see. So that's something else to consider. Now let's try to open and close the phone. So, I mean, it's almost like opening and closing the phone without a case on it. It doesn't really add a lot of extra grip to the phone to kind of open it. And Aramid fiber itself is not grippy. It's just kind of like, it's like a smooth feel to it. So not slick, not grippy, but like smooth. And on the back, again, it's got the texture. So it keeps down fingerprints. It also does resist scratches. Again, I'm not a huge fan because there's not a front piece. I like symmetry. Doesn't add a lot of extra hold to open the phone either. The camera ring might be a problem if you're using a power bank. And I think the other biggest thing for me is the fact that this piece here protrudes out over the buttons. So it makes it harder to actually press the buttons with your finger. I think that's the biggest downside for me. So would I recommend this case? Probably not. I think there's other better options out there. Let's see how hard it is to take the case off. And not hard, not really hard at all. I don't think it's just going to come off your phone without you wanting it to, because it kind of clips into place, but it does seem pretty easy to take off your phone too. So that may or may not be a plus. And then let's see how much this weighs. 21.9 grams. Pretty light. And then here we have the RINGKE Fusion magnetic case. All right, so here is the case. As you can see, it is clear. It does have MagSafe built in. It's got a hard plastic back with a front cover that's kind of more maybe a mixture of rubber and hard plastic. And you can also see that it's connected with this little piece in the middle, so you don't have to worry about these two pieces coming apart. There's also a plastic like sticker on the front and back, so you get your case nice and scratch free. You just got to remove those before we put the phone inside the case here. And it just broke off. Oh, these stickers and breaking, I swear, man. All right, we'll put our phone inside the case. Then kind of fold this over, clips in place on the phone. And there we go. So it feels pretty good in the hand. It does have some grip on this side here. Nothing on the hinge because it's just the metal of your phone. It does have a cutout for the power button, but it's got buttons for the volume, which are nice and clicky, pretty easily pressable, and you can also easily access that power button, which is nice. If we look at the front of the phone, you can see that it's got a raised edge in the corners and along the top to help protect the front of the phone. And it also doesn't add a lot of extra bulk to the phone either. Got our cutouts on the bottom. On the back, again, it's nice and clear to show off the color of your phone. It is a fingerprint magnet. We've got MagSafe built in, and we've also got a protective ring around each one of the camera lenses, which is pretty nice. Let's try to open and close the case. And it does make it a lot easier to open because of the grip of the case, which I like. And if we take a look here, it doesn't look like the case has moved any. You can see that it's very even at the top here and the bottom. And there's also no stickers on this case, which I like. And RINGKE also does have some pretty good pricing for their cases. They're not super expensive, but they do add some pretty nice protection for your phone without adding a lot of extra bulk. So let's test out our MagSafe ring on the back. Clips onto the back really nice, charges your phone immediately. And I think it's got a pretty good hold. It's definitely better than average. So you don't have to worry about your case falling off your MagSafe accessory. And then as far as using a power bank, it does look like there's a bit of a problem. To make it fit, it's got to be slightly off because of that camera, the big camera bump. You can see that it interferes with the power bank. So if you're going to be using a power bank that uses MagSafe, you might have a problem with it, staying on straight. But it does seem like you can get it to work just kind of by putting it off on a little bit of an angle. So not a horrible case. I mean, if you're looking for a decent clear case that's not going to break the bank, but give your phone some protection and add MagSafe, I think the Fusion is a pretty good way to go. And then let's see how easy it is to take this case off. Not too bad there, and not too bad on the front either. So it comes off pretty easy. It's not to say that it's going to come off your phone easy, but you can get it off fairly easily if you wanted to. And then let's see how much this case weighs. 35.78 grams. Now we also do have a Folio case that you can use along with the Fusion Clear. And this is it right here. It's called the Folio Grip Wallet Magnetic, and you can only use this with a magnetic case. So all you got to do is really put the phone inside the case here. It clips into place because of that MagSafe, and then you have yourself a Folio, which is pretty interesting. And interesting enough, it keeps, or it tries to keep the cover closed with a little suction cup that suctions to the glass on the phone. I've never seen that before. I mean, it seems to work okay. As you can see, it kind of bows up a little bit. It doesn't really lay flat on the phone. So it's not horrible, but it does have like a leatherette kind of look to it. And it can hold 1, 2, 3, 4 cards. And it also does have this little strap in the back, so you can kind of put your finger through here so you don't have to worry about, ever dropping your phone. You saw how quickly you can kind of flip that open so you can see things on your phone. And you can still open it up as well, which is pretty nice. And you still have that little strap so you can hold on to your case. And you can see that the case is not just kind of falling out of the Folio either, which is nice. It's in there pretty good. Like, it's got a pretty decent magnetic hold on the back of the phone. I'm not a huge fan of this little suction cup, but I guess it solves the problem. Like, you don't have a flap that goes over to the side, which is nice. And if you want to close this, you just simply pull the little strap there. And then again, if you want to put your cards inside, you can put one card here, which is in there pretty tight. If you want to get it out, you're going to have to push it from there, and then you can kind of slide it out. But it's in there. And this card is not embossed either. If you put an embossed card in there, it's probably going to be even harder to get out. But you can put your cards in here pretty easily. Yeah, so you don't have to worry about your cards ever falling out because they're in there really good. And that's kind of like what it looks like with all the cards in there. You can see how it comes up a lot more with the cards in there. So I'm not really sure how well that little suction would hold, especially if there was like, grease or something on your screen. You can see it's kind of popping off already, but And then as far as MagSafe, it doesn't, yeah, you're not going to be able to use a MagSafe charger, but you might with a regular wireless charger. And again, you can only use this Folio wallet if you have a case that uses MagSafe. But you can see you can take it out. If you want to use it, I think it's a cool idea. I would like to see the cover implemented a little bigger. I know it's not an easy thing to kind of fix. Oh, there's also another little pocket here as well for maybe some cash or some more cards. I do like the strap on the back. It does have a good magnetic hold on the case. It's just that the cover to stay closed is not the best. I think if I were to get a Folio wallet, it would probably be one with the piece that flips over with a magnetic hold on it. That's just me, because I'm not really seeing this front little suction cup here stay consistently. It kind of comes off. So I personally probably would not go with this Folio wallet. It's a cool idea, but there's some things that I think need to be improved on a little bit. And then here we have the RINGKE Fusion Clear. This is without the MagSafe. And here is the case. Again, it's a two-piece connected design, just like the Fusion. It's got this little piece here to connect the front and the back. It also does have some stickers that you need to remove before we put the phone inside the case. So we'll just kind of remove those. And we'll see if this sticker breaks. This one stayed on. And then we can just kind of put our phone inside the case here. Clips into place. Then just fold over the top. And there we go. So it does have some grip to it on this side. Nothing here because it's just bare metal. If we take a look at it from the side, you can see that it does have a raised edge on the top and the bottom of the case to help protect the front of your phone. And it doesn't add a lot of extra bulk to the phone either. We've got our cutouts on the bottom, and it's pretty clear on the back. It does show some fingerprints, so you're probably going to have to wipe off the back of your phone at some point. And we do have a pretty beefy raised edge for our camera protection, which I like. See how easy it is to open and full and close the phone. And it's definitely a lot easier due to that grip of the case. See if the case moved any, and it seems like it's in place without any stickers. Who'd have thought? So that is pretty nice. Shows off the color of your phone. It's got some nice grip. Pretty nice, simple, clear case. I do like the fact that it does have the raised bumpers on the edges and not totally around the phone. We do have a cutout for our power button, but we have buttons for our volume, which is pretty clicky, and they're okay to press. Like, it's not the easiest to press in, but it's also not the hardest, and it's also easy to access that power button as well. So there's really not much to say. It protects your phone pretty good. Doesn't cost a lot of money. Doesn't have MagSafe, but it also makes your phone easier to open and close, and it also does not move. So if you're just looking for a very simple, clear case, this might be a good option for you. And as far as taking this off your phone, it's fairly easy. It's not, again, it's not going to just come off the phone without you wanting it to. And let's see how much this case weighs. 33.5 grams. The one thing I will note about this case is this piece right here is pretty flimsy, but it does come with a sticker that you can install. RINGKE didn't install this just in case you didn't care and didn't want it on your phone. But if you don't use the sticker, it will move in and out if you kind of happen to press on it. I don't think it's a huge deal. I mean, you might press on it with your thumb if you happen to be holding your phone like this, but again, you can install the sticker if you need to. And then here we have the Hinge Protection Magnet Case by Samsung. So here is the cover. It does have a hinge protector on the side with a MagSafe ring on the back. It's just a hard, clear plastic. It also comes with two film screen protectors and an installation guide. So the very first thing we're going to do is to install the screen protector. Make sure you clean off your screen thoroughly before we do this. Then you're going to take your installation guide, and we need to remove these stickers on each side here. And then we're going to take our phone and we're going to place the camera lenses right inside this little piece here. And then press that up against your phone so it sticks to the sides. So it's going to look something like this. Then take one of your screen protectors. We're going to peel off the number 1 on the back here and place the little holes on the screen protector with the posts on the guide. And then we're going to press this down on our phone. You're going to press down where the sticker was so that kind of holds it in place. So it comes with a squeegee. I'm going to use this one instead, but you're going to lift up on the bottom here and then kind of fold this front piece to where it comes out over your phone, and then you're going to squeegee that out over the top of your phone just like this. Then we're going to do the same thing for the top. Kind of lift this up, we're going to peel it back and then push this over the top of your phone. Then you can remove the guide and then peel off the top cover carefully. And then squeegee out any lines you see. You can see the lines here. And there's a little bit of bubbles at the top. Just kind of squeegee those out. Now there are some lines still in the middle even after squeegeeing. Samsung says that they should disappear. I don't know that I believe that. So there is the screen protector, and as you can see, this screen protector does have an anti-reflective coating, which is definitely nice, especially if you're going to be using it out in sun, but you can definitely still see those lines in the middle. Hey everybody, this is future me, and I can confirm that after a couple days, the line will totally disappear. I only had a couple little lines left that I easily pushed out with my finger, and as you can see, there is absolutely no line left. As far as the touch, feels pretty smooth, almost like the glass that's on the phone. So let's put this in the back cover here. Clips into place, and there you go. So there's absolutely no grip for this case. It's just all hard plastic, and that's what it feels like. It feels very plasticky. The hinge cover is pretty good. It seems to have a good spring back when you pull it away. You can see that the screen protector doesn't do a very good job at rejecting fingerprints. There's really fingerprints all over this screen already. You can see the smudges and everything on the side. And as far as wiping away the fingerprints on the screen, see how easy that is. Not too bad. They seem to wipe away with minimal effort. As far as the buttons, very easy to press because everything's pretty much all open on the side there. It does keep your phone pretty slim. There's really no protection for the top portion of your phone except for the hinge. On the back here, again, you have your MagSafe ring. It's nice and clear to show off the color of your phone, but it does seem to pick up some fingerprints as well. And we have a very shallow ring around our camera lenses, so not really any protection there either. So let's open and close the case. I don't think it adds much help to open the phone. You do have this piece here, but you're still trying to grab onto this, slick piece of the phone. So it's about as easy to open the phone as if there wasn't a case on the phone. But it doesn't seem like this piece is moving at all, which is definitely nice. Let's test out our MagSafe. Hold on the back seems pretty nice. Charges your phone immediately. And it's got a pretty good hold on the back. I think it's a little bit better than an average magnetic hold. So that's pretty nice. Let's test out our power bank. Clips onto the back. It does seem like it interferes with the camera ring. You can see it's lifting up my power bank, so I guess it's really all going to depend on what kind of power bank you have that would work with this case. So yeah, the back of the case does pick up smudges, so you're probably going to be wiping that off. at some point. It's an okay minimal case. Again, it's very plasticky feeling. And this screen protector, I like the anti-glare, does a good job. But again, you see these lines here, and that kind of bothers me. As far as the screen, it looks nice and clear. Touch working perfect, no issues. And as far as the front camera goes, it's still nice and clear. No problems there. And again, this is film, so it's going to scratch easier than tempered glass. And you might, scratch it if you're going to be using your nails or something like that, easier than a regular tempered glass as well. So if you're just going to have this in your purse, rolling around with your keys, this is probably going to get scratched up. And again, there's not much protection for the front of the phone, but a little bit for the back. I like more protection for my phone. I really would have liked to have seen them include a plastic piece for the front as well. I don't care how thin it is, it just kind of evens out the back and still offers at least a little bit of protection. So, and it just doesn't make it easier to open the phone either. So again, if I were to have to buy this again, I would not, and I'm not going to recommend it to you guys either, because there are some better thin cases out there. So let's see how easy it is to take off the phone. And with a little bit of effort you can, so not too bad. Our next case is the Samsung Clear Magnet case. It comes with 2 film screen protectors, a squeegee, a wipe, an installation guide, and then here's the case. It's just a simple back piece, very thin plastic. It's got MagSafe built in. There's almost nothing here. So the first thing we're going to do is to install the screen protector. So Samsung doesn't include any alcohol wipe. They just give you this little cloth here. So you're going to have to make do with what you have. We're going to clean off our screen here the best you can. And then also make sure that the corners and sides of the top of the phone do not have any grease or oil on it, because that's where the guide's going to go. So then take your installation guide. You're going to peel off the pieces of blue tape here, and then we're going to stick this underneath the phone. The camera lenses are going to go in this little spot here, and just kind of press that against the top and the sides of the phone so it sticks down. Then take your squeegee and one of your screen protectors here. We need to make sure that this sticker is on the underside of the screen protector, and then you're going to line up these holes with the post on the guide. First, take off the sticker on the back here, then line the holes on the screen protector up with the post on the guide. And when we put the screen protector down, just make sure that it is lined up, and then run your finger over the part where you took that sticker off so your screen protector stays in place. Then take your squeegee, put it behind this middle line here, pull back on the screen protector, making sure that the blue piece goes up and over your phone, and just kind of squeegee this out. Just like that. Then we're going to turn it around, put your squeegee behind the middle line again, lift up on the other side, make sure that the blue part goes up and over your phone, and just squeegee that out. Then your screen protector is in place. Then you can take off the guide here, and then very carefully peel off the top protector. And as you can see, there is a line in the middle of the screen. I'm going to try to get that out with my squeegee, but it's probably going to still be there at some point. I think Samsung says that this should go away in 24 hours, but in my experience, it doesn't totally go away. So that's one thing I do not like about this screen protector. And you're all done. So the one thing I really do like about the screen protector is the fact that it does have an anti-reflective coating. You can see how much it keeps down the studio lighting, so you can definitely see the screen a lot better. Does a pretty good job. But as you can also see, that line in the middle is still there even after I squeegeed it down. So that's definitely one downside. Hey everybody, this is future me, and I can confirm that after a couple days, the line will totally disappear. I only had a couple little lines left that I easily pushed out with my finger, and as you can see, there is absolutely no line left. As far as the feels pretty smooth, just like the glass that's on the phone. As far as fingerprints, it does seem to pick up fingerprints pretty bad. You can already see these smudges on the screen there. I don't know if you guys can, but there's definitely smudges right here on the screen. And let's see how easily those wipe away. And they wipe away pretty easily, so not too bad. So let's take a look at our screen here again. Screen looks nice and clear, and again, the anti-reflective coating does a really good job at keeping down the light. Touch working beautifully, no issues there. Let's take a look at the screen as if we're looking at it through polarized sunglasses. Sometimes there is a rainbow effect, but it doesn't seem like there is, so that's definitely a plus with that too. So if you're going to be using polarized sunglasses while you look at your phone, there will be no rainbow effect, so definitely a plus. Now, the one other thing I will tell you about this film screen protector is it is not nearly as scratch resistant as tempered glass. So if you're going to put this in your purse or something with keys, it's most likely going to scratch the screen a lot easier than it would with tempered glass. So if it were me, I would just skip the film screen protector and just get a tempered glass screen protector, but that's just my opinion. But as far as fingernails goes, if I run my fingernails over the screen here, you can see that it does not leave any marks. So at least if you're going to be using the screen and you have maybe long fingernails or something like that, you don't at least have to worry about the screen getting scratched by that. So now let's put on our case. So just put the case in like that, presses in place, and that's pretty much it. So the whole front of your phone and the hinge is totally unprotected. But the back here does have the clear plastic. It does pick up some fingerprints, as you can see here, but it does show off the color of your phone. We have a MagSafe ring on the back and very minor protection, if at all. It's like the camera lenses are almost flush with the back of the case, which definitely is not good because the most time I put my phone on my back and I don't want my camera lenses touching anything I'm going to put down this phone on. So you can see that there's, you know, like a little bump here because of the case here, and there's no case there. There's a large cutout here, so you can easily press in those buttons. That's a plus. Let's see how easy it is to open up the phone. And honestly, I don't think it's any easier to open up the phone with the back piece on. It seems just the same because this piece here is just smooth plastic. There's no grip. It just kind of feels like the phone. So definitely not any easier to open up the phone with the back part on here. It doesn't seem like it's moving at all, even if I was opening and closing the case. And there's also no stickers to use with the back piece either. So let's check out our MagSafe. Clips onto the back, charges the phone immediately. And as far as the hold, it's got a pretty decent hold on the back. When I'm pulling the magnet away, you can see that the whole case is kind of bowing out. So I don't feel too good about that. That's because the case is so thin. It's just a thin piece of plastic and nothing more. Let's try out our power bank here. Clips onto the back, and it does seem like it interferes with the camera cover here. You can see it's lifting the power bank, but it is still charging the phone. So it's probably not going to be the best charge because the connection is not totally there, but it does seem to still work. So now if I had to buy this again, I would totally skip it, and I would tell you guys to do the same because of the lack of protection for the camera ring, the flimsiness of the case itself. You saw how it was bowing out from the phone because it's so thin. There's hardly any protection for your phone whatsoever. This screen protector is going to protect you against scratches, and that's about it. If you drop your phone, the whole front part is unprotected. This is not going to protect your screen from getting cracked. It's just, I don't know. There's other better cases out there than this one. So again, I would tell you guys just totally skip this case. And then if we have to take it off the phone, just kind of press on the back and it pops right off. Remember when I said in the beginning of the video that some of the cases feel like they're not worth the price? This is definitely one of them. The next case we have here is the Samsung Hybrid Shield magnet case. So here is the case itself. It is made of a hard plastic. It's got MagSafe built in, and it seems like the two pieces are connected by this little hinge cover here, and there are stickers all over the place. So first let's take off all of our stickers. And then we'll put our phone inside the case here. Just presses into place, and then we'll fold over the top. Press that into place as well. And there we go. So the case itself just feels like hard plastic. There's no grip at all. It's very slick, especially on the side with the hinge here. We have a large cutout for our buttons, which are easily accessible and pressable. And you can see from the top here how thin this case is, or it actually keeps your phone. So that's a plus. And if we look at the side, you can see how much of a raised edge we get to protect the front of the phone. On the back, again, it's got that MagSafe ring, this interesting pattern underneath, because this is just a smooth mat. So that'll keep down fingerprints. And as far as the camera protection, it seems like there's pretty much none because the lenses are flush with the camera ring. I'm not sure why you would even want to do that with no protection, but that's what it is. So let's try to open this up here. And it definitely makes it a little easier to open and close the phone because we have this little ridge on the bottom here. Let's see if it's moved, and it looks pretty even. I don't see any movement. So that's definitely a plus here. And that's mostly, that mostly happens because these two pieces are connected by this hinge in the back. That's a pretty good design that I've seen quite a few different cases use, but this case is slick, especially on the back. There's absolutely no grip whatsoever for this case. That's definitely a downside for me. I would like to see a little bit of a grip at least somewhere. So let's try out our MagSafe ring on the back here. Clips onto the back, charges your phone. And as far as the hold, it's got a pretty good hold. It actually opens up the phone here. So not too bad. I think it's a little bit better than an average hold. So that's a plus for the phone. Now let's try out our power bank. And it still seems to interfere with the camera ring here. You can see it's lifting up on the MagSafe power bank. So that's not good. You're gonna have to kind of put it off to the side like I have here, and then it won't interfere with the camera ring, but it will not, you're not gonna be able to or want to put it straight because it's gonna lift up on the power bank. Just another plasticky case from Samsung. I would like to see a little better. I mean, like I said, I'd like to see some grip, at least on the side here and on the hinge protector, because it just makes it feel better in the hand. This case just feels very plasticky, which I'm not a big fan of. And it seems like all of the Samsung cases are most likely not going to have really any protection for your rear camera. So if you put your phone down on something, it's most likely going to touch your lenses. But if we put it on its back and you try to type, it does have a little bit of wobble as well. So another case for me, at least, I would not buy this again, and I would not recommend it to you guys either. And then if we look at the bottom here, we've got our cutouts, kind of interesting. And then if you have to take the case off your phone, kind of press back on one side here, kind of releases those stickers. I'll kind of press back the top. Just want to be very careful because I don't want to damage the phone here. So you can take off one side and then kind of peel that back from the top and the bottom. There you go. Our next case is going to be the Samsung Silicone magnet case. It comes with 2 film screen protectors, a squeegee, a wipe, an installation guide, and here is the case. Again, another very simple plasticky kind of flimsy back piece. It is covered in a silicone, so it's got a nice soft kind of feel to it, but on the inside it's just a very plasticky. We also do have some stickers here, which we will take off first. So the first thing we're going to do is to install the screen protector. So Samsung doesn't include any alcohol wipe. They just give you this little cloth here, so just you're going to have to make do with what you have. We're going to clean off our screen here the best you can. And then also make sure that the corners and sides of the top of the phone do not have any grease or oil on it, because that's where the guide's going to go. So then take your installation guide. You're going to peel off the pieces of blue tape here. And then we're going to stick this underneath the phone. The camera lenses are going to go in this little spot here. And just kind of press that against the top and the sides of the phone so it sticks down. Then take your squeegee and one of your screen protectors here. We need to make sure that this sticker is on the underside of the screen protector, and then you're going to line up these holes with the post on the guide. First, take off the sticker on the back here. Then line the holes on the screen protector up with the post on the guide. And when we put the screen protector down, just make sure that it is lined up. And then run your finger over the part where you took that sticker off so your screen protector stays in place. Then take your squeegee, put it behind this middle line here, pull back on the screen protector, making sure that the blue piece goes up and over your phone, and just kind of squeegee this out. Just like that. Then we're going to turn it around, put your squeegee behind the middle line again, lift up on the other side, make sure that the blue part goes up and over your phone, and just squeegee that out. Then your screen protector is in place. Then you can take off the guide here, and then very carefully peel off the top protector. And as you can see, there is a line in the middle of the screen. I'm going to try to get that out with my squeegee, but it's probably going to still be there at some point. I think Samsung says that this should go away in 24 hours, but in my experience, it doesn't totally go away. So that's one thing I do not like about this screen protector. And you're all done. So the one thing I really do like about the screen protector is the fact that it does have an anti-reflective coating. You can see how much it keeps down the studio lighting, so you can definitely see the screen a lot better. Does a pretty good job. But as you can also see, that line in the middle is still there even after I squeegeed it down. So that's definitely one downside. Hey everybody, this is future me, and I can confirm that after a couple days, the line will totally disappear. I only had a couple little lines left that I easily pushed out with my finger, and as you can see, there is absolutely no line left. As far as the feels pretty smooth, just like the glass that's on the phone. As far as fingerprints, it does seem to pick up fingerprints pretty bad. You can already see the smudges on the screen there. I don't know if you guys can, but there's definitely smudges right here on the screen. And let's see how easily those wipe away. And they wipe away pretty easily, so not too bad. So let's take a look at our screen here again. Screen looks nice and clear, and again, the anti-reflective coating does a really good job at keeping down the light. Touch working beautifully, no issues there. Let's take a look at the screen as if we're looking at it through polarized sunglasses. Sometimes there is a rainbow effect, but it doesn't seem like there is, so that's definitely a plus with that too. So if you're going to be using polarized sunglasses while you look at your phone, there will be no rainbow effect, so definitely a plus. Now the one other thing I will tell you about this film screen protector is it is not nearly as scratch resistant as tempered glass. So if you're going to put this in your purse or something with keys, it's most likely going to scratch the screen a lot easier than it would with tempered glass. So if it were me, I would just skip the film screen protector and just get a tempered glass screen protector, but that's just my opinion. But as far as fingernails goes, if I run my fingernails over the screen here, you can see that it does not leave any marks. So at least if you're going to be using the screen and you have maybe long fingernails or something like that, you don't at least have to worry about the screen getting scratched by that. So I'll put the phone in the case here. Just kind of snaps into place. Just press it down, making sure that all those stickers stick to the side of your phone. And it looks like one of the stickers already came off. So that's great. So as far as it feeling in the hand, there's no grip on this side, obviously because of the hinge, but there is some like a grippy type feel on the other side because of the silicone. The only protection your screen has is that film screen protector, which isn't going to do much for drops. If we take a look at the side here, we do have a large cutout for our buttons, which are easily pressable and accessible. On the back, again, you got your MagSafe ring, totally silicone covered. Feels nice and smooth. It will keep down the fingerprints, but again, there's like zero protection for the camera lenses here. It's pretty much flush with the ring. So let's try to open up and close the phone. It is slightly easier to open and close the phone, slightly, because there's nothing to grab onto other than the phone on the other side. It feels good on the silicone side though. So let's take a look here, and it doesn't look like the case has moved any. Open it up so you guys can see how it's flush on all the sides and in the corners. So it seems like the piece does not move. Let's test out our MagSafe on the back. Clips onto the back, charges your phone immediately. And as far as the hold, it's got a pretty good hold again. Nice and strong. But again, it's so strong, and because of the back piece of the case is so flimsy, it kind of pulls the case away from the phone when you try to take the MagSafe accessory off your phone. So that's definitely not something that I would like. Let's test out our MagSafe power bank. And again, it's going to probably be the same with all these cases. It interferes with the camera ring here. But if you put it off slightly to the side, you can see that it doesn't touch the ring, and you can have a flush connection with your MagSafe power bank. You shouldn't have to do that, but it is what it is. So again, not much to say about this back case. It feels nice. MagSafe ring is nice, but it's very flimsy, as you saw, and there's like no protection for your camera lenses and the front part of your phone. That I'm not a huge fan of. So again, I would not buy this again, and I would not recommend this to you guys either. So now let's see how easy it is to take off the back here. And it's pretty easy, just kind of pull it off. It's like those stickers really didn't have any hold on the phone to begin with. And the next case we have is the Samsung Carbon standing case. It comes with 2 film screen protectors, a squeegee, a wipe, an installation guide, and here's the case. So again, it's just a simple back piece. This one seems very rigid, but it is made of, I think it's made of Aramid fiber. Has a pretty cool texture to it. Like I said, it's very, very stiff. So it's definitely a lot better than some of the other thinner plastics. It does also have this kickstand on the back here that is pretty stiff as well. So it pretty much stays wherever you need it to. And it kind of clips right back into the case, and it doesn't seem like there's any stickers. So the first thing we're going to do is to install the screen protector. So Samsung doesn't include any alcohol wipe. They just give you this little cloth here. So you're going to have to make do with what you have. We're going to clean off our screen here the best you can. And then also make sure that the corners and sides of the top of the phone do not have any grease or oil on it, because that's where the guide's going to go. So then take your installation guide. You're going to peel off the pieces of blue tape here, and then we're going to stick this underneath the phone. The camera lenses are going to go in this little spot here, and just kind of press that against the top and the sides of the phone so it sticks down. Then take your squeegee and one of your screen protectors here. We need to make sure that this sticker is on the underside of the screen protector, and then you're going to line up these holes with the post on the guide. First, take off the sticker on the back here. Then line the holes on the screen protector up with the posts on the guide. And when we put the screen protector down, just make sure that it is lined up. And then run your finger over the part where you took that sticker off so your screen protector stays in place. Then take your squeegee, put it behind this middle line here, pull back on the screen protector, making sure that the blue piece goes up and over your phone, and just kind of squeegee this out. Just like that. Then we're going to turn it around, put your squeegee behind the middle line again, lift up on the other side, make sure that the blue part goes up and over your phone, and just squeegee that out. Then your screen protector is in place. Then you can take off the guide here and then very carefully peel off the top protector. And as you can see, there is a line in the middle of the screen. I'm going to try to get that out with my squeegee, but it's probably going to still be there at some point. I think Samsung says that this should go away in 24 hours, but in my experience, it doesn't totally go away. So that's one thing I do not like about this screen protector. And you're all done. So the one thing I really do like about the screen protector is the fact that it does have an anti-reflective coating. You can see how much it keeps down the studio lighting, so you can definitely see the screen a lot better. Does a pretty good job. But as you can also see, that line in the middle is still there even after I squeegeed it down. So that's definitely one downside. Hey everybody, this is future me, and I can confirm that after a couple days, the line will totally disappear. I only had a couple little lines left that I easily pushed out with my finger, and as you can see, there is absolutely no line left. As far as the feels pretty smooth, just like the glass that's on the phone. As far as fingerprints, it does seem to pick up fingerprints pretty bad. You can already see the smudges on the screen there. I don't know if you guys can, but there's definitely smudges right here on the screen. And let's see how easily those wipe away. And they wipe away pretty easily, so not too bad. So let's take a look at our screen here again. Screen looks nice and clear, and again, the anti-reflective coating does a really good job at keeping down the light. Touch working beautifully, no issues there. Let's take a look at the screen as if we're looking at it through polarized sunglasses. Sometimes there is a rainbow effect, but it doesn't seem like there is. So that's definitely a plus with that too. So if you're going to be using polarized sunglasses while you look at your phone, there will be no rainbow effect. So definitely a plus. Now, the one other thing I will tell you about this film screen protector is it is not nearly as scratch resistant as tempered glass. So if you're going to put this in your purse or something with keys, it's most likely going to scratch the screen a lot easier than it would with tempered glass. So if it were me, I would just skip the film screen protector and just get a tempered glass screen protector, but that's just my opinion. But as far as fingernails goes, if I run my fingernails over the screen here, you can see that it does not leave any marks. So at least if you're going to be using the screen and you have maybe long fingernails or something like that, you don't at least have to worry about the screen getting scratched by that. So now let's put our phone inside the case here. It just simply clips into place. And there we go. Again, it just feels like you're holding the phone without a case on it. There's a slight bit of texture on the sides here to help with grip, but the other side, again, it just feels like smooth, slick metal, which is just on the phone. We do have a large cutout here for our buttons, which you can very easily press and access. On the back, this is a really nice case. It feels really cool. It's going to keep down the fingerprint. It has a slight texture to it. There's not going to be any MagSafe though, because we do have this kickstand here, and I believe that this kickstand is made of metal. And again, it is solid. Like, it holds the phone in place. You don't have to worry about the phone, you know, this piece flopping around. It's on there pretty good. It'll hold your phone in a portrait or a landscape mode, and even if you open up the case here, you can stand it up or lay it down like that. So that's pretty nice. And then it just kind of folds right back in and it stays there. Again, you don't have to worry about it just coming out prematurely. Again, the only thing is there's no protection for your camera lenses. It's flush with this ring here. And I keep saying it, but I don't understand why they don't make just a slightly higher ridge to protect those cameras better. So let's try to open and close the case here. So again, I think it's only slightly easier to open your phone. You're still having to deal with the slick part of the phone right here. I mean, so there's not much difference with this back piece on versus not having anything at all. So let's see if it's moved, and it looks like it's still pretty flush with the case here. You can see all the way around. And from the top here, it hasn't moved at all. So that's definitely a plus. I would really like to see them make a front piece that's just as stiff as the back, just to round it out and still give the front of your phone some protection at least, instead of just nothing but this film screen protector. So again, no MagSafe on here. It is nice, and I mean, it feels premium, but again, the camera ring really doesn't give any protection for your camera lenses, but you do have the option for the kickstand on the back here. Another case for me, at least, that I would not buy again, and I would tell you guys to pass as well. So let's see how easy it is to try to get this off. And not too bad. Just with a little effort, you can pop it right off the back. Then here we have the Samsung carbon magnet case. This one looks pretty cool. It comes with 2 film screen protectors, a squeegee, a wipe, an installation guide, and here is the case itself. Again, it's just a back piece. It is made of Aramid fiber. It's got some texture to it, and it's pretty rigid as well, which is definitely good. And it's got MagSafe built in. That's pretty much it. So the first thing we're going to do is to install the screen protector. So Samsung doesn't include any alcohol wipe. They just give you this little cloth here. So you're going to have to make do with what you have. We're going to clean off our screen here the best you can. And then also make sure that the corners and sides of the top of the phone do not have any grease or oil on it, because that's where the guide's going to go. So then take your installation guide. You're going to peel off the pieces of blue tape here. And then we're going to stick this underneath the phone. The camera lenses are going to go in this little spot here. And just kind of press that against the top and the sides of the phone so it sticks down. Then take your squeegee and one of your screen protectors here. We need to make sure that this sticker is on the underside of the screen protector, and then you're going to line up these holes with the post on the guide. First, take off the sticker on the back here. Then line the holes on the screen protector up with the post on the guide. And when we put the screen protector down, just make sure that it is lined up. And then run your finger over the part where you took that sticker off so your screen protector stays in place. Then take your squeegee, put it behind this middle line here, pull back on the screen protector, making sure that the blue piece goes up and over your phone, and just kind of squeegee this out. Just like that. Then we're going to turn it around, put your squeegee behind the middle line again, lift up on the other side, make sure that the blue part goes up and over your phone, and just squeegee that out. Then your screen protector is in place. Then you can take off the guide here, and then very carefully peel off the top protector. And as you can see, there is a line in the middle of the screen. I'm going to try to get that out with my squeegee, but it's probably going to still be there at some point. I think Samsung says that this should go away in 24 hours, but in my experience, it doesn't totally go away. So that's one thing I do not like about this screen protector. And you're all done. So the one thing I really do like about the screen protector is the fact that it does have an anti-reflective coating. You can see how much it keeps down the studio lighting, so you can definitely see the screen a lot better. Does a pretty good job. But as you can also see, that line in the middle is still there even after I squeegeed it down. So that's definitely one downside. Hey everybody, this is future me, and I can confirm that after a couple days, the line will totally disappear. I only had a couple little lines left that I easily pushed out with my finger, and as you can see, there is absolutely no line left. As far as the feels pretty smooth, just like the glass that's on the phone. As far as fingerprints, it does seem to pick up fingerprints pretty bad. You can already see these smudges on the screen there. I don't know if you guys can, but there's definitely smudges right here on the screen. And let's see how easily those wipe away. And they wipe away pretty easily, so not too bad. So let's take a look at our screen here again. Screen looks nice and clear, and again, the anti-reflective coating does a really good job at keeping down the light. Touch working beautifully, no issues there. Let's take a look at the screen as if we're looking at it through polarized sunglasses. Sometimes there is a rainbow effect, but it doesn't seem like there is, so that's definitely a plus with that too. So if you're going to be using polarized sunglasses while you look at your phone, there will be no rainbow effect, so definitely a plus. Now, the one other thing I will tell you about this film screen protector is it is not nearly as scratch resistant as tempered glass. So if you're going to put this in your purse or something with keys, it's most likely going to scratch the screen a lot easier than it would with tempered glass. So if it were me, I would just skip the film screen protector and just get a tempered glass screen protector, but that's just my opinion. But as far as fingernails goes, if I run my fingernails over the screen here, you can see that it does not leave any marks. So at least if you're going to be using the screen and you have maybe long fingernails or something like that, you don't at least have to worry about the screen getting scratched by that. So let's put this in let's put our phone in the case here. Just simply clips into place. This is kind of like the other carbon case. Really, it's about the same with a different looking texture on it. The whole front of the phone is pretty much unprotected except for the film screen protector, which is pretty much only going to protect the front of your screen from scratching. Other than that, you've got the back piece here. You've got the large cutout here, which makes your buttons on the side easily accessible. Holding it in the hand feels exactly like you're holding the phone without a case on it. That's pretty much it. There is some texturing on the back here, which is nice. It doesn't really give it that much grip, but there is a little bit of texture to help with that. Because of the matte, it's going to keep down those fingerprints, and it's also scratch resistant. And again, there's really no protection for your camera lenses because it's flush with the ring here. That's unfortunate. Let's try to open and close the case. So again, makes it a little bit easier to open the phone, but because you're still having to deal with touching this smooth piece here, it's only ever so slightly better. It's really not that drastic. So if you didn't have this case on your phone, it's really not going to make that much of a difference. Let's see if the case has moved at all. And it doesn't look like it. Looks pretty flush with the side of the phone. And from the top here, you can see it keeps your phone ultra slim without the front part. I like symmetry. I would like to see another, like the front piece too, just to kind of make it even. That's why I am not partial at all to these, just the back cases here. Let's test out our MagSafe. Clips onto the back, charges your phone, and it's got a pretty decent hold on the back. That seems to be the trend for the Samsung cases, which is one plus, right? Let's test out our power bank again. So again, if you try to put it exactly how it's supposed to be, it bumps right up against the camera lens protector here, and it kind of raises up your MagSafe power bank. So you're just going to have to kind of offset it a little bit, and then it'll fit. At least this one will. And that's pretty much it to say about this back piece. Again, for me, I would not recommend this, and I would not buy this again. I'm not sure why they just don't make the front piece as well, just to kind of give your phone a little bit more protection. It would be really nice. But there are other Aramid fiber cases that do give you the front piece along with the back, and it's it also gives you some more protection for your camera lenses as well. So again, I would not recommend this, and I would just tell you guys to stay away. There are better cases than this one here. And then if we try to take it off our phone, with a little bit of effort, you can pop it right off. Next up, we have a case by NILLKIN. So here is the case. It's got a pretty kind of flimsy front piece, and then on the back, it's got the piece that's got a hinge cover and MagSafe built in, and a pretty cool texture on the back. The front cover does look like it has a whole bunch of stickers, so we'll just kind of peel those off. And then you're also going to want to clean off the edges of your phone as well, just so the stickers have a chance to stay down the best that they can. And we'll put this on the front of our phone. And just kind of press everything down into place. Then we'll put this in the back. Clips in. And there we go. So as far as the feel, it feels okay in the hand. It feels like soft, smooth silicone, but it's got a hard plastic underneath, so there's no grip and there's no texture to kind of help it give you grip. But there is some texture on the side here, and I think that's to help with opening the phone, but we'll test that out in just a minute. You can see how much bulk it adds to the phone. Not a lot. We do have a slight raised edge around the front of the phone as well. Got our cutouts on the bottom. We have some like reinforcements in the corners to help with drops. We have a cutout for the power button, and we have a covered volume buttons, which are very easy to press, nice and clicky, which I like. Power button, very easily pressable, not a problem there either. On the back, again, it's got this really aggressive texture, which feels pretty cool, helps keep down fingerprints, and we do have a pretty good raised edge for those cameras, so you don't have to worry about anything really ever touching those, which is nice. Let's try to open and close the case. Very easy. I like it. Definitely makes it a lot easier to open and close the phone. Very nice. Let's see if it's moving at all. And it seems like it's, yeah, that's just the hinge. It's a little off. So the case seems like it's pretty even, but the hinge is kind of on a slight angle. You look at the bottom here. That same thing. The hinge is just on a very slight angle. And the case does seem to be just ever so slightly pushed back. That's probably when I installed it. Not really sure. Yeah, I'm not really sure if that happened afterward or if it's just that's how it is. But the hinge cover does kind of seem to spring back fairly easily, which is nice. I do like the texturing on the back, feels really cool. The phone case is pretty slim. I like the texturing right here to help with the opening and closing of the phone. Let's check out our MagSafe. It's got a pretty good hold. Charge your phone immediately. And yeah, I think the magnetic hold is better than average. So that is definitely a plus. Let's test out our power bank. And it's got to be slightly off, again, because of that bulky camera protector. But you can charge with the power bank. It's not going to be, angled properly, but it does work. So not a horrible case. There are better. Would I buy this again? Probably not. And would I recommend it to you? Probably not, because there are better cases. It's not horrible. MagSafe, I think, is stronger than average. It's got a really good protector for your camera lenses. As far as the case moving, it may move just ever so slightly because it does seem to use a lot of those stickers all the way around. I would like to see a little bit more grip on the back here, or at least the hinge. But Not a horrible case. Let's see how easy it is to take off. A little bit of effort to take off on the back, and then on the front, because of those stickers, it makes it more difficult. I don't want to bend my phone. Man, they are, yeah. Okay, so we just take it off from there, the bottom, and then the stickers seem to come off along with the case. So it seems like if you get this case and you remove this case one time, the stickers might come off along with it, but they do come with an extra set inside. It's just something to keep in mind. Now let's see how much this case weighs. 58.5 grams. And then here we have a finger strap case by YQODSZ. This is covered in all silicone, but it has a hard plastic underneath. It's also got a built-in, what seems to be plastic or clear tempered glass screen protector built in as well. And it also has a little stylus, which should work with the front of the phone. Not sure if it works with the inside or maybe both. We'll find out in just a minute. And it comes with some wipes as well to clean off your screen. So it looks like it does have a spring-loaded hinge. And again, oh, it's got a kickstand and a hand holder on the back, which is pretty nice. Kind of reminiscent of a case that Samsung sold for last year's Fold 7. Let's clean off the front of our screen so we can install the front cover with the included screen protector built in. All right, once your screen is clean, you want to peel off this inner sticker here. Then we're going to place this over the top of our phone. This kind of clips into place. And does it? No. So it doesn't adhere to the screen. It just kind of stays there. And then we'll put this into the back of the phone, clip that into place, and we're all set. So it does have a very smooth kind of silicone type feel to it. It's not grippy at all. It's almost on the verge of being slick, which I don't particularly care for. And then it adds a little bit of extra bulk because of that stylus on the side here. You can see that we do have a slight raised edge around the front of the phone, and it also does add a little bit of thickness to the phone as well. We also have a raised edge around the camera lenses, so we have some protection there too. We've got the kind of silicone strap to put your fingers, and we also do have a kickstand as well, which is pretty nice. And then I think it's tempered glass on the front. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure that it is tempered glass. We'll test out to see how well the camera works on there because it does have a whole bunch of dots on here, I think to keep down the rainbow effect. We've got a cutout on the side here. Let's see how easy it is to press our buttons. Not horrible. There is a little bit of the front part of the screen that does kind of keep you from pressing the buttons a lot easier. They should have just made this whole thing a cutout, but you can still kind of press in those buttons fairly easy. On the side, it does have a large cutout for your buttons. Let's see how easy it is to press. And they are pressable. It's not as easy as it normally would be because it seems like this part of the case is kind of blocking you from pressing the buttons easier than it should be. So that's not the greatest. And let's see how easy it is to open the phone. Wow, that is kind of weird. It's not horrible. This piece on the back here, watch. I don't know, when I had my hand on it, yeah, it kind of made that clicking noise. Because of the smooth silicone feel of the case, it doesn't make it easier to open it. Just kind of makes you more cautious and having to kind of take your time to open it, or else you're just kind of gonna slip to open this up. But as far as the case moving, It doesn't seem like the case moves a lot. It might move just a little bit, or maybe it was just the way that I had the phone. Let's try this one more time. Not a huge fan of the smooth silicone because I like grip when I'm holding my phone. Let's see if the case moved at all. Yeah, I think it just was the way that I had it. It doesn't seem like the case is moving on either side. It looks pretty even, so that's good. Got the cutouts on the bottom here, and on the back here, again, you can kind of stick your fingers in the back and very easily hold onto your phone, so you don't have to worry about ever dropping it, which I love. That's something I liked on some of the Samsung phones in the past. And then again, you've got your kickstand. You can use your phone in a portrait or a landscape, and if you open it up, let's see what we can do. Yeah, you can still use it in the portrait mode, but it's kind of wobbly. And then if you lay it down here, it's perfectly fine. So standing up, there's a little bit of a wobble here. And then if you put your phone on its back and try to text, there's a little wobble, not bad. It's just because of these pieces right here. But you're not going to have any MagSafe wireless charging, or even wireless charging for that matter. So you're going to probably have to charge it up from the bottom. Again, not a huge fan of the way that this feels. There's no grip. It's on the verge of being too slippery. It does add a little bit of extra, protrusion on the side. So if you don't have big hands, it might be a little bit harder to hold the case. And the fact that it's harder to kind of press these buttons in doesn't help. Let's test out our stylus here. Let's see what this can do. Doesn't seem to do much on the screen here. Let's see here. So that seems to work. You just kind of got to press harder to open it up, but it does seem to work. Yeah, you gotta kind of got to press on it to make it work, which is definitely not the greatest. Let's take a look at the screen as if we're looking at it through polarized sunglasses. And you can see that there is a good bit of a rainbow effect depending on how you're looking at the phone, which isn't the greatest, but it's not horrible if you're looking at it dead on. And you can see that it is crystal clear. Touch working perfectly fine. No issues here. See all the buttons work. You can swipe down from the tops and from the bottom here. No issues there. So screen protector seems to be doing a pretty good job. Let's test out our fingerprint rejection. And it does seem to pick up some fingerprints you can see all over the screen there. And as far as wiping them off, not horrible. Just kind of minimal effort. Not too bad. And then as far as the inside of the phone, let's see if the stylus works here. And it does. So you can use the stylus on the outside and the inside of the screen. Again, it just kind of might have to press a little bit harder than normal. Seems to work maybe a little better with the inside screen. You don't have to press as hard. So yeah, I mean, it works. Not the greatest, but it does actually work. Now, would I recommend this case? With all the little things that I mentioned, probably not. Again, I do like the fact that it has a kickstand and the finger holder here, but everything else I mentioned kind of puts me off to this case. So I would not purchase it again, and I would not recommend it to you guys either. Now let's see how hard it is to take the case off. Not too bad on the back. And again, the front of those stickers kind of make it a little more difficult. So you just kind of got to take it off from the bottom here, and then you can kind of peel it off maybe. Yeah, this front is stuck. It does not want to come off. Let's try it from over here. Okay, finally popped off. Jeez, let's see how much this case weighs. 70.4 grams. I think it's the 70.4 grams. So I think it's the heaviest case yet. And then here we have a magnetic ring stand case by WSKEN. So here is the case, and it also comes with 2 tempered glass screen protectors. So this case does have a magnetic kickstand, metal kickstand on the back. It's got a pretty satisfying little rotation click to it, which is pretty nice. The case itself is just made of a very simple kind of flimsy plastic. We do have a hinge cover here and then the front cover. So let's put the front cover on our phone just so you guys can see how much of a raised edge we get without the tempered glass. So you can see there is a slight raised edge. And then we will install the tempered glass screen protector. So peel off the bottom cover, put it inside your case here, and then you can run your finger up the middle and it should adhere to your phone. Okay, not too bad. It doesn't look like there's much of a gap. So we'll test that out in just a second. Put this into our phone, clips right into place. And let's see if it's even, and it's not. Maybe it's supposed to be like that. You can see right there. It looks like it's off, but I think they did that because of the hinge. Now, as far as the feel, there's absolutely no grip on this whatsoever. It's slick. All it is hard, slick plastic everywhere. So that's definitely a downside. As far as the buttons goes, there's a cutout for the power button, and we've got covered volume buttons, which are not easy to press. That's horrible. Power button, very easy to press. Volume buttons, not easy to press. So that's something else that's bad. On the back here, again, it's got a nice kind of smooth matte feel. Again, it's just plastic, but it does help keep down the fingerprints, and it slightly shows the color of your phone. We do have that MagSafe ring in the back and a raised edge around our camera lenses. As far as the kickstand, I really do like the rotation. All those clicks is very satisfying to me. You can use the phone in a portrait or a landscape. And it's got adjustment, or you can open the phone and you can have your phone stand up at some point like that, very carefully. It kind of wants to lay, that doesn't even want to do that. You can have it lay down like that, or you can stand it up like this if you want. Just you gotta angle this properly so it'll stand, and then it doesn't fold flush back into the case. There's a little bit of a bump here. So let's see how easy it is to open the case. Not very easy because it is slick. It's kind of like opening up the phone without a case on it. It's pretty much what it is. Ugh. But you can see that the phone is pretty slim. It doesn't add a lot of extra bulk to the phone, which is nice. See if the case is moved. And it doesn't look like it. Looks pretty even. So that's 1 plus. The hinge cover here seems to like magnetically stick down. So that's another plus. You don't have to worry about the hinge going anywhere because it's kind of magnetically clipped onto the phone. Let's check out our MagSafe. Clips onto the back, charges your phone immediately. And again, it's got that click. As far as the hold, it's got a pretty good hold on the back. Not too bad. But again, because the hinge is the weak point, it kind of pulls away from the phone when you pull your MagSafe accessory from your phone. So that may or may not bother you. I know I'm not a huge fan of it, but it's just something to note. But it does seem to have a pretty good hold on the back. Now let's test out our power bank. And it does seem to fit the power bank. Let's see if it doesn't seem like it. Let's see it. Turn the power bank on, and it is charging. Yeah, so you don't have any problem there. It's just that it will kind of move around a lot because of the rotation is very easy. But the hold on the MagSafe is pretty good. So it will work. Maybe not the best, but you can wirelessly charge your phone with a power bank. So Again, not a phone I would purchase again or recommend to you. I think it's way too slick. I think they needed to put some grip here to make it easy to open the phone more. There's really not that much of a raised edge, especially after you put the tempered glass screen protector on there. I do like the metal kickstand, but it rotates, I think, just a little bit too easy. And the buttons, the volume buttons on the side are not easy to press. So for me, again, I would just tell you to pass on this case. Let's see how easy it is to take off. Not too bad there. And not too bad on the front. Let's see how much this case weighs. 39.2 grams. And then as far as the screen protector goes, you can see that there is a ton of fingerprints on the screen already. See how they wipe away. Not too bad wiping them away. Again, let's just try to test it out. And you can see that there are smudges on the screen. So it is a fingerprint magnet, and it also does not have any anti-reflective coating on it either. And you can see how big of a gap there is all the way around the screen. Not the best screen protectors, but they are included to help protect your phone. The next case we have here is made by SHIELDON. And this case is a leather case. So let's take a look here. It's a very nice presentation. Everything's all wrapped up nice and neat. Looks pretty premium so far. Wow. So it's held together with magnets, and they seem pretty strong. It smells like real leather as well. You got your little leather piece down at the bottom here. Yeah, it feels pretty nice. We do have a cheap plastic cover on the inside, but it looks like you've got a big pocket here to put some money. 3 slots for cards. And then it looks like it will probably turn into like a kickstand, something like that. Card information is accessible only when removed from the slot. So it seems like it's RFID blocking as well, which is nice. All right, let's put our phone inside the case. Clips into place pretty good. Then when we close it, it does, like I said, it has a magnet that kind of keeps it closed. It's not as strong as it was when the phone was not in there. So the flap can come off the phone, but it's got a little bit of hold. I think if it's in your purse or something like that, it's not going to just open on its own, but if it gets caught on something here, it might just kind of flap open. Let's see about putting cards inside the case. We got 1, 2, 3. The cards go in there pretty good, and they're snug. They are not going to just fall out. And there's the back. You can see it. It does add some pretty good thickness to the phone. We've got our cutouts on the bottom. And the back here is pretty much almost flush with the camera lenses. So not a lot of protection there either. And then when you add the cards, there's even less of a magnetic hold. Now it might just flap open. Let's see how hard it is to get the cards out. Pretty easy to get the cards out, but again, they're in there enough. The hold is strong enough to where the cards are not going to just come out, but it's also fairly easy to take the cards out too, so that's definitely good. But again, like I said, it's the magnetic hold. You lose a lot of the strength when you start adding cards and things to the front part of the wallet. Now, like I mentioned before, when you're opening the phone, it kind of has like this, like a kickstand capability, maybe a little bit, kind of like that. So that's kind of cool. When you have the phone open, you can very easily kind of hold it like this. And then when it's closed, the only thing is here, if you need to access the phone, you're going to have to fold it back on itself, which the magnet does hold it on its backing. And then you just kind of have to get your finger over this piece right here that's protruding out from the case to press in those buttons. So if you have smaller hands, this might be a little bit more difficult for you to do, but it can be done. So I mean, this does seem like a pretty nice case, but the problem again is if you're going to be using this with any cards or anything in here, that magnetic hold is going to be almost non-existent. So that may or may not bother you, but if it's in your purse and you have it like this, it's most likely going to open and close inside your purse. And if you don't have your screen protected, you might get your screen scratched up. It is a possibility. Cards are easy to take out. Let's see about wireless charging. And it doesn't look like you can use wireless charging either. So there's a couple big downsides to this case. Again, it looks really nice, but I think functionality wise, they could have done better. So looks really nice, made of real leather, easy to take the cards out if you need, but they're not going to fall out. And it's got that little kickstand capability, but it doesn't seem like wireless charging works through this case. It can be a little hard to use your phone with one hand if you have smaller hands, and the magnetic hold to keep the phone case closed is almost non-existent when you actually use it as a wallet case. So again, for me, if I were to buy this again, I would probably pass, and I would probably tell you guys to do the same. Then let's see how easy it is to get off your phone. And it does take a little bit of effort to take this off your phone, but it can be done pretty easily. And then here we have a kickstand cover case by FNTCASE. So this case does look kind of rugged. It's got a kickstand on the back, and it also comes with a tempered glass screen protector as well to protect the front of your phone. Just a very simple case, nothing crazy. It does have MagSafe built in. So the first thing we're going to do is to install the front cover to see how much of a raised edge we get on our phone. And then we'll install the tempered glass. So if we take a look at it from the side, you can see that we do get a pretty good raised edge without the tempered glass screen protector on it. And we also do have some reinforcements in the corners as well to help with drop protection. So the first thing we need to do is to thoroughly clean off our screen with the included alcohol wipe. Then take your tempered glass screen protector, making sure that the camera cutout is going towards the camera on the phone. Peel off the back protector. Line this up with the camera cover. Or the camera rather. Lay this down. We'll run our finger down the middle and it should start to adhere to your phone. Smooth out some of the bubbles. It does seem like there's a pretty big gap on the bottom and the sides of the case here, but it seems to be lined up pretty good with the camera, so that seems to be the way that it's going to be. Then we'll put this in the back part of the phone. And there we go. So as far as it feeling in the hand, feels pretty good in the hand. It's got kind of like a smooth rubbery type feel that does have just a little bit of grip to it. Same thing with the side here, a little bit of grip, but it's got like a smooth silicone type feel. If we take a look at the case from the side now, you can see that we still do have a slight raised edge around the front of the screen. It also adds a little bit of extra bulk to the phone as well. If we look at the bottom here, we've got our cutouts. We do again have some reinforcements in the corners to help with drops. On the side, we have a very large cutout for our power and volume buttons, which you can very easily press in. I like that. On the back, same smooth kind of silicone type feel. We do have the metal kickstand that folds flush back into the case, and it also rotates 360 degrees, and this hinge is pretty solid. Like, to rotate this, I mean, you really have to put a lot of effort into it. This phone is not going to move. I mean, that could be a good thing, could be a bad thing, but you can stand your phone up in a portrait or a landscape mode. And then if we open it up, you can stand it up, or you can also lay it down too, which is pretty nice. And then like I mentioned before, folds right back flush into the back of the case. Now just opening up this case one time, it seems like it is moving ever so slightly. So not too good so far. But we do have a really big beefy raised edge around our camera lenses, so that'll help with some protection there. So let's open and close the case again. So it opens and closes pretty easily, gives you some good grip on the side, but again, it seems like the case is moving. You can see that it's coming off of the phone. And it seems like the hinge, when you open and close it, it's pushing against this piece here. So when I open it, you can kind of see that it's pressing against it, which will inevitably push out this top part of the case. I just pulled it off a little bit just to show you guys how easy it actually like comes off. So it was pulling. Let's see. So it seems like it's clipped in there now. Let's open and close it again and see if we can get it to, yeah, see, so it just came off. So that's definitely a downside. As far as the hinge springability, like it seems to spring back pretty easily. This edge right here, you can see that it does move a lot and it moves pretty easily. And I don't see any stickers that it came with to kind of mitigate that. So that's how it's going to work. Let's test out the MagSafe on the back. It's okay. Hold. It charges your phone with a like an average hold, nothing crazy, but I think it's adequate enough to hold the phone on the MagSafe accessory. And then let's test out our power bank. And it seems like it does kind of fit. Doesn't look like it's interfering with the power bank, but it butts right up against the edge of the camera ring. But it seems to still work. I guess it's just going to really depend on what kind of power bank you have. Then for the tempered glass on the front, there's a cutout for the camera, so you don't have to worry about your selfies. There's no anti-glare. As far as the feel, feels nice and smooth, just like the glass that's on the phone. And you can see that it is crystal clear. Touch is working fine. No problems there. Now let's take a look at it as if we were looking at it through polarized sunglasses. And you can see that there's a pretty bad rainbow. So the things that I think this case has going for it, it comes with the tempered glass screen protector. It does feel good in the hand. The hinge has got a pretty nice spring. It's got reinforcements in the corners to help with drops. Buttons they're easily accessible. It does have this MagSafe ring in the back, and it's got a pretty beefy raised edge around the camera lenses. Now for the things that I don't like, it's got an okay hold on the MagSafe on the back. Nothing, great. But the biggest thing about this case is the fact that the front cover can come off of the phone when you're opening and closing the case. That's the biggest downside for me, and it's definitely a deal breaker when I'm looking for a case for my phone. So I would not buy this again, and I would not recommend that you guys do either. So let's see how easy it is to take off your phone. The back part comes off pretty easy, and then the front, and there's nothing really holding it on, so it comes off pretty easy as well. If you all made it this far, thank you so much for all your support, and do me a favor and comment your favorite case from this video. Also, if there was a case that I missed in this video that you'd like to recommend for future videos, let me know in the comments below. And one more thing, it takes a lot of time and money to put this video together for everybody, so if you found it at all useful, please let me know by hitting the like button and consider subscribing. So now that I've tested all those cases, I'm going to let you know which ones were my personal favorites based on a few different categories. The first category is going to be for the best Aramid fiber minimalist case, and there's going to be 2 cases in this category, and one is made by Thinborn. Now, unfortunately, I didn't get these cases in time for this review, but I at least wanted to tell you about it because it's been one of my favorite cases for the fold devices now for quite a few years. But once I do actually get them in hand, I will be doing a full dedicated review, so make sure you're on the lookout for that. So the case made by Thinborn is made of 600D Aramid fiber through and through. It's super thin, very light, and it's also got MagSafe built in. And it also comes with a tempered glass screen protector. So if you want to check this case out yourself, I will be putting a link in the video description. And if you end up using that link, you can also save 15% off your purchase. And for the second case that I actually did get to do a review on, I would recommend going with the BENKS ArmorAir Grand Combo. I was pretty impressed with this case. It not only looked good, but it felt good in the hand. It also has a hinge protector that is covered in kind of like a leatherette material and also gives the phone a little bit of grip. It's super light, very thin, it's got MagSafe built in, and it also comes with a tempered glass screen protector. The next category is going to be for the best slim protective case. And for that, we've got the TORRAS Guardian Mag and the SPIGEN Slim Armor Pro. Both of these cases are going to offer your phone some drop protection. They both feel really good in the hand. They have sort of like a soft silicone type feel, but they do have a little bit of grip, especially on the hinge protector. Now, if I had to choose, I would take the TORRAS over the SPIGEN simply because it does not use any stickers to hold onto your phone, whereas the SPIGEN has stickers pretty much all over the case. And both of these cases also have pretty strong MagSafe magnets. And for me personally, I like the fact that I can see my phone's color through the TORRAS case. The next category is going to be for the best clear case, and this goes to the SUPCASE Slim Fit. This case feels good in the hand. It does have a little bit of a grip to it. It's got a hinge protector, it's got MagSafe built in, and it also has a metal kickstand on the back, which in my opinion is always a welcome addition. But I think the biggest thing is the front part of the case has a built-in clear tempered glass screen protector. So your phone is going to be protected pretty much 360 degrees. The next category is going to be for the best protective case, and that goes to the SUPCASE UB Grip. This has been one of my favorite cases for quite a few years now. It not only feels good in the hand because of the texturing on the side, but it also makes it a lot easier for you to open up your phone. It's got reinforced edges, it's got a hinge protector, it's got MagSafe built in, also with a metal kickstand on the back. And it also comes with two tempered glass screen protectors, one that's clear and one that's privacy in case you want to use either one. And even though I've picked this as the most protective case, it's actually pretty slim as well. And the last category is going to be for the best luxury case, and that goes to the TORRAS Q3 Vegskin. When I first saw this case, it just looked premium to me, and then when I held it in my hand, you could tell that it was really well made. It may look like leather on the back, but it's actually a silicone material that feels just like leather. And the nice thing about it is it wipes up really easy if it happens to get dirty. So if you're around kids or anything like that and they happen to get crayon, ketchup or something on the back of this case, it wipes up really easily. It also has a hinge protector. It's got micro suede on the inside to help keep your phone scratch free. It's got a metal camera ring on the back for extra protection, along with a metal kickstand that doubles as your MagSafe that rotates 360 degrees, so you can pretty much stand your phone up in any orientation. And it also comes with a tempered glass screen protector. So those were all my favorite cases, but I'm curious to know what yours was and why. Let me know in the comments below. Also, if you guys enjoyed the video and you want to see more videos like this in the future, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a one. I'm also going to be making a video where I'm going to test out each one of these cases' MagSafe connection to see which ones can get fast charging speeds. So until then, thank you all for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.